Hello, hello. Welcome back. Oh, I forgot to change I forgot to change what game we're playing on screen. We're not playing Seven Doors. We played that last time. This is the INNSMOUTH case. INNSMOUTH? INNSMOUTH. I don't know how to say it. But it is a cute game. INNSMOUTH. Oh my god. My nightmare. You can all see how terrible I am at typing. I got it on sale a while ago. I actually think I might have gotten it with the Seven Doors. But yeah, I got it on sale and I thought I would play it. Why not? What color should this be? What's Eldritch? How about like a green or something? Like a murky green. It's kind of hard to see. Perfect. Oh no, it's too big. There we go. Okay. So, hi. Playing the INNSMOUTH case. INNSMOUTH. We'll figure out how to say it, I'm sure. I don't know really anything about this game. I just remember it looked fun. And it was on sale, so I got it. And let's freaking get into it. Let's check. Ooh. Check speed, volume, okay. Pretty basic settings, nice. Alright, let's do this. Boston, Massachusetts. I almost said Boston, Missouri soda. Boston, Massachusetts. Anyway. Forward. We are fans of the strange world of INNSMOUTH, but we recognize the problematic beliefs of H.P. Lovecraft. This game has been produced by a group of people who believe in inclusion and equality. Ugh. I love that up top. Yes. I was gonna say, I always say, instead of Lovecraftian horror, I say Eldritch horror, because F Lovecraft. Your progress in the story will be saved at the end of each chapter. There are 35 chapters in total? Ooh, I thought this was gonna be like a quick... It's fine. At the end of a chapter, the screen fades to black and a green save icon appears at the bottom right of the screen. You can't see that because it's covered up by my camera, but that's fine. We recommend you always end the game after such a save point to make sure none of your progress is lost. Interesting. Okay. Boston, 21st of September. The last rays of sunshine filter through the blinds of your empty office. The pathetic stench of whiskey, cold cigarette smoke, and canned ravioli fills the air. The screeching tires and constant beeping of car horns out there on the street tell you that it's gone 8 p.m. People are on their way home, finishing their day. You should join them. Ooh. Let's see. Yeah, I'll go home. One of my favorite things of going to work is going home. You breathe a deep sigh. It may not have been a successful day, but at least it's over. You're looking forward to a classic Friday night, watching old mystery series at home in sweatpants and getting drunk on cheap booze. Hey, hell yeah. Since the early afternoon, you have been staring at the foreboding bottle of liquor at the other end of the room. Up until now, a vague sense of professionalism has kept you from drinking yourself into oblivion. Now, nothing stands in the way. Suddenly, you hear someone at the door. Well, I want to be polite. Who is it? The door slowly cracks open with a timid creak. The unknown guest pauses. Then, in a breathy and melodic tone, you hear a woman utter, "Hello?" Your insides cramp. You suddenly realize that you haven't cleaned your office at all this year. Yeah, I guess I'll try to clean up. Wait a minute, wait! Oh, wait a minute, wait! You shout in a pitch that is at least 2 octaves higher than intended. There's no time to pick up all the crumpled pieces of paper on the floor. You gaze across the total mess on your desk. A weird, undefinable crust is formed on the wood. Ugh. You've never noticed that before. You try to hide it by putting some unpaid bills over them, and they get stuck immediately. Nice. Oh, I love it. Look at that art. Oh, the rim lighting on the gloves. I love good rim lighting. It's so easy and it makes everything pop. By the light of the desk lamp, you now see more than a silhouette. A breathtaking woman lights up your office. No doubt older than 40, maybe even 50, hard to say. Clad in black, a skin-tight dress culminating in a décolleté that seems to defy the laws of gravity. A smoky eyeshadow, as dark as algae washed ashore. Blonde, coiffed, wavy hair under a dark beret. The faint light of the setting sun catches in the strands of her hair, and you wonder how many heads this woman must have turned during her prime. She's completely different from your usual customers. Nervous bankers with sweat stains under their armpits, convince their wives of something going on with the mailman. Every move she makes is calculated grace. Smooth as an eel, she walks towards you and sits down on the corner of your desk. I'd say sitting on the desk and not the chair, I'd say that's bold. Which is a little bold without asking you first, but as a professional, you're not giving anything away. She seems to want to play the seductive damsel in distress. The quiet, amused voice of your subconscious is pleased that this stranger may be sharing your enthusiasm for film noir cliches. A far louder voice is surprised that this woman seems to think that a sexy pose and revealing clothes could win you over. And both voices agree that they don't like being manipulated. You don't think that the stranger perched on your table is trying to recover from a hard working day as a lingerie model, and therefore you see no logical reason for her behavior. When she begins to speak, her voice is smoky and full of promise. My name is Dahlia Marsh. I'm looking for a private investigator. I was told you're one of the best. Do I have a... There we go. She extends her hand. I'm gonna kiss her hand, of course. You kiss her hand and waggle your eyebrows in the same manner you've seen so often in those classic movies. This woman moves in high circles and is used to luxury. You can tell by the strong smell of caviar she gives off. She smells like fish eggs. If you play this right, you might even be able to increase the fee for this case. Let's say get down to business. It's about my daughter, Tabitha. She has, disappeared. You're pulling out paper and pencil. There's gonna be a walk in the park. A walk in the kidnapped kids park. Well, when did you last see her? And where? The woman puts on a fake smile. We live in INNSMOUTH. It's a small port town north of Arkham. You frown. This is a bit vague. What was your child doing when you last saw her? What hobbies does she have? Oh, you know, kid stuff. They just run around and play with their, yo-yos, that sort of thing. Dahlia nervously combs her hands through her hair. Yo-yos. Yeah, what does your daughter look like? We need a description of the child. Code Adam, baby. She's only 8 and the sweetest girl you can imagine. She's been missing without a trace since last week. None of her schoolmates have seen her, and no one knows where she might have gone. She hands you a photo. Look at this, my little munchkin. Yeesh. Good heavens. Is this supposed to be a joke? Is that really the face of a child or a shoddy photo edit? Are you being filmed as part of a reality TV show? Oh, a bit of stomach acid in the last bite of lunch. Slowly but surely make their way up into the back of your mouth. Swallow it. Don't throw up from looking at a picture of a child. With narrow eyes, you swallow the bile and involuntarily pull a face. Spitters are quitters anyway. It's fine. Dahlia continues to look at you hopefully. She obviously didn't notice your little mishap. That was close and could have been unpleasant. I'm so desperate. Her eyes lock with yours. I'm not gonna be rude and ask if there's something strange about her child. Dahlia nervously combs her hands through her hair. Many friends. Does your daughter have any friends she might be staying with? Classmates, sports club members, anything like that? Dahlia silently shakes her head. Very strange. You're about to ask if the girl at least had imaginary friends, but you hold back. Yeah, I guess what about her father? What about Tabitha's father? Are you separated? Often children reappear with family members. That's true. Most kidnappings are family members. So, watch out. Dahlia smiles sadly. My little one can't swim well enough for that yet. Your pen remains on the same spot on the notepad. What was that supposed to mean? Dahlia's about to continue. Yeah, let her talk. Dahlia turns her gaze away from you and looks dreamily, no, longingly, out of the window. Her father was a fisherman, like most in the village. A few years ago, he went out to sea but never returned. His boat was washed ashore weeks later. His colleagues told me that he had finally followed the call of the waves. You keep quiet for a moment. Deceased family members are always a sensitive subject. My sincere condolences. She seems calm. Oh, somehow I always knew that moment would come. I think my husband's in a better place now, and at some point I'll join him. You take a closer look at Dahlia's outfit. Judging by her behavior and clothes, you never would have taken her to be a fisherman's wife. Maybe like a movie starlet. Or a... What's a fancy job? Chocolatier. Inquire... Financials? Well, let's get more details first. Hold on. Yo-yos? Ring, ring. Can you hear that? It's the 90s calling in. They want their outdated toy back. Dahlia blushes. Normally you would find this quite attractive, but the case of the missing girl beckons, and you're utterly unconvinced by the way this woman pretends to be a mother. Yeah. Something's fishy here. You have a nose for this sort of thing. That's why you became a private investigator. Or, to be more precise, that's why you took an online detective course that, for a one-off fee, provided the necessary qualification. It's time to take your visitor to task. Has your daughter really disappeared? You simply can't help questioning her further. Her story simply doesn't wash, although it's exactly what your instructor warned you about. You're sticking to your principles. Dahlia's mouth becomes even more pinched, something you didn't think possible. I resent this insolence. Of course she's disappeared. What do you take me for? You stare at one another. The only sound in the room is the roar of the rush hour traffic creeping in through the window. Dahlia's face remains motionless, icy, and you have neither evidence nor arguments to back up your suspicions. She still seems angry, but she also seems desperate and dependent on your services. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're going to accept the case. You nod. A missing persons case. Nothing unusual. The conventional little girl runs away from home after reading her first romance novel. Usually they hide at the edge of the forest or in a library. It should be pretty straightforward. Before you can say anything, she drops a photo of the child and a roll of bills on your desk. For your expenses. You nod slowly, trying not to drool down the front of your shirt. You haven't seen this much money in ages. You don't have much time to prepare. A quick search reveals that only one bus goes to INNSMOUTH. And only once a day. A pattern emerges in your research. The few news items related to this little coastal town are all about missing persons. In addition, you find some rather old-fashioned articles that praise the coastal town as a secret holiday destination. The best fish, untouched beach promenade, authentic fishing people are the recurring buzzwords. Dahlia's giving you the address at which you're supposed to drop off her daughter as soon as you find her. She also wrote down her phone number on the child's photo. You take another look at the picture before you pack your things. Next morning you travel... Yeah, let's take the bus. Hitchhiking scares me. Boston bus station. Boston, 22nd of September. Your journey begins at a busy bus station. There's supposed to be a bus line that departs from here to INNSMOUTH. Buses, you think to yourself, are not only an environmentally friendly means of transportation, they're also easy on your wallet. Sadly, the departure boards aren't of much help. New York, Maine, Rhode Island, no trace of INNSMOUTH as a destination. You wander around for a while until you notice a cleaner eating a sandwich on the side of one of the vending machines. Okay, I didn't know this game was going to be a lot of reading. I mean, I'm fine with it, but I guess I don't know anything about this game. Anyway, yeah, let's talk to the cleaner. Let's see if they know anything. Excuse me, where can I find the bus to INNSMOUTH? Without letting go of his sandwich, the cleaner points to an abandoned counter in the dingiest corner that a public bus station could be capable of. The man gives you a nod, indicating that anything that can be said has indeed been said. You find that the counter is elaborately decorated with cobwebs. It's a bit early for Halloween preparations. Not true, it's the end of September. That's when you have to start. Beginning of September, you should probably start. Anyway, but at least someone's made an effort. At the moment, nobody seems to be there. You press your face against the plastic window to peer into the room behind. Hello, is anyone there? I have to go to INNSMOUTH. No one there. Suddenly out of nowhere, a bus ticket appears on the counter. Might the trip be free? Should you leave a payment? I mean, yeah. You're a staunch defender of the law. It goes without saying that you pay. Okay, that's not why I'm paying. Just need to support public transportation infrastructure. You put a few coins in the bowl underneath the foggy glass window. Hopefully they won't be stolen by the next passenger. Even if someone were sitting behind the counter, you wouldn't be able to see him. It's just too dark. You're distracted for a few seconds, and suddenly there's some change on the counter. What's that in amongst the coins? A small golden fishing hook? How strange. Where's this bus hiding? In between the polished greyhounds and travelers stowing their luggage, saying goodbye and dropping tiredly into their seats, there's a kind of dumpster. A dumpster with windows and wheels. No, it's actually a bus. It's a bit on the rusty side, and even from a distance you sense the strange smell it emits. Is that sulfur? You're not convinced how this thing is supposed to drive. In its vicinity, everything is noticeably quieter than at the other bus stops. The people getting on show no signs of emotion. Nobody is trying to jump the queue here. Instead, the passengers move past the bus driver at a uniform speed, one after the other, shuffling up the creaking steps. Each two-seater bench is occupied by individuals, as if they want to make sure not to come into contact with their fellow passengers. The sign clearly says INNSMOUTH. No departure times, no stopovers, just INNSMOUTH. INNSMOUTH. However you say it. Undecided, you're standing on the stairs of the bus. Yeah, show your ticket. You hand the driver your ticket. No reaction. At least you can't make out a reaction. The lighting is poor, and the shadow of his dusty driver's cap covers almost his entire face. You notice something strange on his neck, but you can't quite make out what it might be. You're standing in the door, waiting for an okay, a nod, anything. The sulfur odor is increased. A queue is formed behind you, but no one's pushing or complaining. Just keep walking. I've lived in cities before, okay? You don't hold up the line, alright? You shuffle sideways through the center aisle. You don't remember the bus looking this long from the outside. You're surrounded by chappy two-seater benches, and some are already occupied. One traveler per row. The last bench is free. Looks like the upholstery is torn in some places, though, or has been slit open. You can see springs with sharp wire edges, and some sticky liquid seems to have leaked onto the floor. Why don't you just sit down on one of the free rows? Here and back, almost everything's occupied. Most of the passengers seem to have purposefully sat down in the aisle seats, blocking off the window seats. Maybe this is an opportunity to get a little closer to the common INNSMOUTH visitor. You gaze across the rows of seats. Oh, man. No, I wouldn't sit with someone. Although I'm a private investigator. Okay. I have to roleplay as him, not as me. You've always been the cool outsider. At least that's what you like to tell yourself. So you take the back row, which you have all for yourself. The ride won't take that long, will it? Oh, you wish you had paid a little more attention to the map. The smell of sulfur rises into your nose again. You try to sit down carefully without tearing your clothes on the wire springs of the seat cushion. Suddenly a jolt. You can't balance, and you are pressed into your seat by the most mysterious of all invisible forces, gravity. The bus starts without any warning. Because of the abrupt start, a bunch of yellowed paper has rolled across the dirty floor right in front of your feet. You pick it up. Oh, look at that, a newspaper. INNSMOUTH Illustrated, from April last year. How useful. Yeah, let's read it. Let's get some information. According to a faded sticker, of the subscriber of the newspaper was a certain C.G. Young. Carl Jung? Could it be you? The INNSMOUTH Illustrated actually offers a lot of entertaining articles, and all these features and listicles give the impression that at the end of this trip, you'll find yourself in an adorable, up-and-coming tourist metropolis. Oh, a real insider tip. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep reading. You decide to read every damn article in this paper. Preparation is everything, as you know, and apart from that, you're bored to death. You find out that INNSMOUTH has a boardwalk, and that even a beach bar was opened last year. Finally, you discover the crossword puzzle, which turns out to be quite difficult. Quite a lot of fish-related terms. See you later what? Yep, you've got that one. But you get stuck on making pastries, but with H, or toll road. That's too difficult for you at the moment, and you throw the newspaper in the corner. Finally, your eyes close. The rest of the ride, you sleep peacefully. The bus leaves the country road and turns off at a wooden sign that says INNSMOUTH in red, flaky letters. The journey continues rather bumpily along a narrow dirt road littered with numerous potholes. In the distance, some houses are already visible, seagulls circling the roofs of the outermost edge of the city. Slowly, all passengers take their bags out from under the seats and get ready. Curious, you look through a side window. We're all the way in the back. That's odd. The bus passes by a huge... What is this? A scrapyard? Parking lot? Why would something like this be right outside the city? You pass another wooden sign whose half-peeled writing advertised the INNSMOUTH Park and Ride area. A lot of cars look like they've been sitting here for years. Sand covers some of the bonnets and windscreens. The front door of the bus opens with a squeak, and you join the monotonous line of locals stepping out of the bus as if in a daze, almost walking in step until you all get closer to the exit. As you walk down the steps, you have to protect your eyes from the sunlight. Turns out the windows of the buses were tinted. The other passengers shuffle off. Okay, we're going to INNSMOUTH. INNSMOUTH town limits. Finally, INNSMOUTH. Yeah, I think I'm gonna say it like INNSMOUTH. I don't like INNSMOUTH. Finally, INNSMOUTH. You examine your surroundings while you stretch your legs, trying to unwind from the stressful journey. No artist could have adequately captured the serenity and beauty of this place. A clear blue sky lights up the town square, which is paved with bright limestone and surrounded by neo-colonial buildings reminiscent of 19th century New England. A fresh breeze, crying seagulls, and locals going about their business. In the center of the square, water trickles from a fountain. As you stretch your limbs and breathe in the clean air, you're suddenly startled by the water feature right in front of you. The fountain is an enormous fish-like brass creature. An open jaw lined with shark-like fangs spouts brackish water down its massive, inhumanly contorted body. As if that wasn't enough, there appear to be human bodies squirming underneath its massive claws. Their faces are as contorted as yours is right now. How long have you been standing here? Eyes wide open in shock, you feel utterly paralyzed. You start to scan the town square and notice more and more disturbing details. On every corner, you spot ornamental statues and reliefs of fish. These are not your classic harmless kind of fish. These are pagan symbols and grimaces of supernatural creatures from the darkest crevices of the deep sea. Sick. In surrounding houses, you can see faces pressed against the windows. All the locals appear to be watching you. You suddenly start to think that the cries of the seagulls sound particularly human-like. They sound like humans crying out in pain. What happened to the idyllic scene from a few moments ago? Yeah, what? Whoa. Welcome to INNSMOUTH. I mean, yeah, just go. You follow the group of people from the bus without acknowledging the friendly welcome. Hey, yes you! Welcome to INNSMOUTH! Someone shouts after you. You turn around and notice a small elderly lady with a strange hat waving at you energetically. Very energetically.
Oh, have I not introduced myself? I'm ever so sorry.
In front of you now stands a small, plump person in a tasteless costume. Your rudeness doesn't seem to curb her enthusiasm in the slightest.
My name is Muriel Poopenplace. I'm the director of the Parks Commission, chief tourism officer, and head of the welcoming committee. Ta-da!
Behind Muriel, there's a ramshackle wooden information stand lovingly decorated with balloons. A colorful painted sign reads, "Welcome to Innsmouth." Muriel tiptoes over to her information stand and picks up a whole load of flyers and leaflets from the rickety display cases. She looks down at all the papers in her arms and briefly shrieks with laughter.
My goodness, why don't you take this city map to begin with?
Oh, useful. You take the map and put it in your coat pocket.
Would you like to find out more about our wonderful town, which has been awarded the East Coast Stunning Town Award for several years in a row?
Yeah, I'm looking for someone.
Here I am.
The small, plump woman starts giggling.
Innsmouth welcomes you warmly. So you're looking for someone. It's not that uncommon for two lonely hearts to find one another in this romantic place.
Yeah, I'm gonna mention the missing girl. You see, I'm looking for this girl.
Oh, it's always about a girl, isn't it?
Tabitha Marsh, 8 years old. Her mother asked me to take on the case. You take out the photo and Muriel immediately rips it out of your hand.
Oh, what a cutie! But I'm sorry to say I've not heard anything about missing girls. How awful. Oh, this sort of thing doesn't happen in Innsmouth. Perhaps you can have a look around at the beach or on the playground. There are a lot of kids around here. I'm sure that's where the little one will be.
With an unnaturally wide grin, she hands you back the photo, turns around quickly, and makes her way over to accost another tourist family. So, she said people don't really go missing, but everything we've read says that they do. So Muriel sounds like a damn filthy liar. Okay? My god. You head further into town along the cobbled road in the direction of the coast. Not long ago, the sun was bright in the sky, but already the first wafts of mist are creeping into the streets. The air feels thicker and the sun can no longer penetrate the fog. Time to think about where you want to go. You slow down, you lean your briefcase against a wall and start pacing up and down the quiet alleyway. You've got an important choice to make right now. City center's in the north. Even from afar, you can see the outlines of the old and ornately decorated buildings in the main town square. Here you should find the police station, the main shopping street, and of course the town hall. As a coastal town, Innsmouth has a harbor. From your research, you found out that this is a bustling area with a dreamy beach. You expect there to be mostly tourists. According to your research, the only hotel in town, the Gilman Hotel, is located in the old town. You think about checking in. You could do with freshening up and getting rid of that bus smell that's still clinging to your clothes. Just as you're about to set off, your heart leaps into your throat. You've forgotten your briefcase. This has never happened to you. You usually take good care of the little you possess. There's nothing you can do about this now. You'll have to wait until your return journey to find out whether someone has handed it in the lost and found. Still, you could swear the briefcase was already gone when you got off the bus. You decide, let's go to the hotel. The Gilman Hotel. You recognized its roof from afar, and after a long walk, it is now before you in full splendor. The Gilman Hotel. At least, it's easy to see that it once must have been a gorgeous building. The hotel resembles an old English country estate, but in its present state. It would be suited as the setting for a very predictable film about teenagers and chainsaw killers. Yeah, I can see that. Wild and withered ivy has a firm grip on the walls and obscures the details of the richly decorated facade. A gallery of gargoyles melted into unreal shapes by acid rain and acidic pigeon droppings lines the roof. The many window panes have been neglected for years. Only in a few places has a small area been wiped clean in order to see outside. There are 2 cars in the parking lot, a vintage car with large rust spots, and a large gray van. The kind of van you've always been warned about as a child. I guess let's inspect the car since we're here. You look around again just to make sure that the people who own the cars aren't hiding somewhere with their shotgun at the ready. Alright, the coast is clear. First, you walk over to the antique car. Well, you're not a car expert, but the car looks antique to you anyway. Both seats inside are made of white leather. Bit tacky. You turn away from the antique car and look towards the van. No writing on the side. A regular registration plate, the windows in the front blacked out. Hang on, you have a brainwave. Maybe this is the van into which poor Tabitha has been pulled when she was kidnapped. When she was lured to her awful fate by sweets and lollipops. That sounds like nonsense. Why would they be at the hotel? All of a sudden you realize how absurd this theory sounds. Maybe you would actually solve this case if you did some real investigating and didn't just hang around parking lots. Stealthily you look around. After admiring the old car one last time, you walk to the hotel. You really hope the inside of the hotel has been looked after a little better than the outside, but you're quickly disabused of that notion. The massive wooden door is difficult to open. Shouldn't the staff be doing this anyway? Opening doors for me? With a loud creaking sound from the hinges and an exhausted puffing and panting on your part, you manage to open the door and enter the lobby of the Gilman Hotel. You wonder if guests are even welcome in this place. The room is sparsely lit. There are impressive chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, which, if working, would perhaps not quite give the grand hall back its original splendor, but at least convey more warmth. Your first steps tell you that there are rotten floorboards hiding under the thick carpet. The green wall paneling and wallpaper also appear rotten and musty. It seemed like there were a bunch of tourists coming to this town, and this is the only hotel. So there should be some people here. Sort of wet. Alright, go to reception. Oh, hello, sir. Hello. Look at you. Freaking Nosferatu looking green suit having, man. Alright. Before you let yourself be distracted by the questionable interior design and the associated health issues, you walk purposefully towards the reception desk. A small, greenish creature stands behind the counter. The loudly humming ceiling lamp above harshly illuminates his silhouette and gives his face hard edges. You can make out every individual speck of dust and dandruff on his dark green velvet collar and crooked shoulders. Maybe they should be dimming the lights after all. The figure smiles at you, or perhaps it's more of a grin? His face unsettles you. You lean forward on an angle to get a better look at him. The corners of his mouth reach up all the way to his dried up ears. His smile looks like it's painted on. Oh. His beady eyes lie deep in the cavity of his skull and seem to stare in opposite directions. Has he even blinked yet? And on top of it all, he smells funny.
How may I help?
You're startled and take a step back.
Welcome to the Gilman Hotel. My name is Cornelius Gilman III. How may I be of service to you?
The man's gaze remains unchanged, and his unnatural smile seems to be etched into his face. You're still surprised that he can talk with that expression on his face. Just a moment ago, you could have sworn he was an inanimate puppet. Just like now when he's not speaking. I'd like to book a room, please. I'd like to book a room. You begin and manage not to blurt out in a different hotel.
Perfect. The Gilman Hotel is delighted to be able to welcome you as its guest. May I ask whether you're in INNSMOUTH for business or pleasure? How long will you be staying with us? Would you prefer a view towards the beach or the skyline of our exciting town? When do you like to be woken up? Do you sleep deeply? Are you traveling alone? Do you have family? Who knows that you're here? Can I interest you in our spa, fitness, and wellness activities? Would you like to subscribe to our newsletter? How long can you hold your breath?
Yeah, answer all the questions. Okay, you tick the box next to business. How long will you be staying with us? Let's say a week. Favorite view. We can get really flirty with him, huh? Let's see. Let's think. Should we have a view of the city or of the beach? I don't think the beach, because the mom said she couldn't swim, or she wasn't, like, that strong of a swimmer. So let's see a view of the city. Would you like to be woken up? Yes, at 6 a.m. sharp. Do you sleep deeply? I can't be woken up that easily. Are you traveling by yourself? Oh my god, wow, we can really hit on him. Always by myself. Do you have family? Wish to start a oh my god, you can every single question you have the option to seduce this man. I have this goldfish called Al. Who knows that you're here? Al knows. Can I interest you in our spa, fitness, and wellness activities? Yeah. Would you like to subscribe to our newsletter? I do not want to subscribe to your sodding newsletter. No, no, no. Kill anyone who tries to get me to subscribe to that cursed newsletter. I'm just going to say no, no, no. How long can you hold your breath? Say 10 minutes. That's amazing. Are we done now? Can I go to my room? The concierge expression did not change a tiny bit for the duration of your conversation, let alone did he blink. Thank you very much. That was all I needed to know. Now all you need to do is sign here. He tilts his strangely shaped head over to the guest register. Impatiently signed with... Jada... No, let's do a real name. I mean, XXX Noob Slayer 555 XXX is incredible. But I'm here on business, so I should use my real name. Although I'm a private investigator. No, I'll use my real name. Sadly, we're all booked up this season. There's only one spare room. Here's your key for room 666. Enjoy your stay. Okay, you look at the key, which has magically appeared on the counter. Then your eyes slowly wander past the man to the wall, where countless other keys are hanging. Yeah, he's got a wall full of keys. Oh my god, let's book wellness sessions. Oh, but I'm here for business. Yeah, alright, let's just see what they have. This wellness offer. Caligula! The concierge offers helpfully. Naturally, today must be your lucky day. Today's program starts in... He lifts his arm without actually looking at the gold watch on his wrist. 5 minutes! Would you like to reserve a spot? Reserve? You take a moment to turn on your own access and let the fundamental emptiness of the hotel sink in. Definitely. Fabulous, I'll arrange everything. The tour bus is already outside in the parking lot. Our wellness specialist Ezekiel is awaiting you. Yeah, let's do it. Because I know we're here to find a missing girl, but we've got to start talking to the locals. And what better way to do that than to talk to them, you know? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna run 3 minutes of ads. Okay. Three minutes of ads. So this game is cute. It's not, I mean, I got it a while ago. So I was gonna say it's not what I expected, but I don't know what I expected. I guess I didn't expect it to be like a choose your own adventure sort of thing. You know, just a lot of text and me reading. But that's fine. I don't mind doing that. I don't think this will be I don't think this will be something I stream past this day. You know, I think this is going to be a one stream game, and then I'll find something to do Thursday. But I will say that I'm going to be streaming again on Thursday. And then on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my sister and I are doing a charity stream for Palestine. We're going to be playing Cooking Simulator Pizza, just because I wanted a game that didn't have, like, a story, and you could just, like, do stuff, I guess. That didn't have a story, but was still entertaining, so that hopefully people will watch and donate to medical aid for Palestinians. So, again, that'll be Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. this Friday, December 1st. What else? What else do I have going on? I released an episode of my podcast that came out yesterday. It's episode 69. So I did Lust. I turned Lust into a D&D character. Not like Lust from Full Metal Alchemist or Seven Deadly Sins or Dr. Faustus. Well, I guess kind of Dr. Faustus, because it's just the sin of lust turned into a D&D character. And it's a bad episode. It's so stupid. It's just full of double entendres and just really shitty, just like really terrible bad jokes. I mean, I had a lot of fun recording it, but listening back to it, I'm just like, this is so cringy, I can't. But then I did end up releasing it because it is a lot of fun. So that's the newest episode of Fantasize Me, the podcast where I take characters real or imagined, and I fantasize them as D&D characters. You can listen to that wherever you listen to podcasts. Oh my god, look at that, ads are over. What perfect timing on my part. Alright, let's keep going. Should actually drink water. I plan on drinking water and then talk the entire time. Okay. The concierge was right. In the parking lot, there's a rusty little bus that could hold up to 30 people. In regular intervals, the bus coughs out puffs of black smoke. From a distance, it looks as if the car is only held together by dirt and rust. You assume that at some point this bus did have a color, way back when the earth was young and the old gods reigned supreme. The windows are dirty and steamed up from the inside. You can make out a few silhouettes in the bus, but it's definitely nowhere near half full. There's going to be a very exclusive wellness program. A man with a strangely deformed face leans against the open door to the bus. He smokes a cigar. A photo of him could be printed on cigarette packets as a warning to keep people from smoking. Rude. He's wearing a green shirt which has a squiggly G embroidered on the left breast pocket. As you look him up and down, he blows out smoke. It's just as black as what's coming out of the exhaust pipe. This must be your wellness expert, Ezekiel. Whoa. Good afternoon, you greet him. Is this the wellness program, Caligula? The man nods and answers without taking the cigar out of his mouth. Yep. He nods towards the open door. Well, at least he's unambiguous. The stairs leading up to the bus wobble with every step. Inside the bus, there are 5 couples of all ages. You stand in the aisle. Let's greet people. Again, I think talking to people, getting some information would be helpful in trying to find a missing girl. You wave. Hello, everyone. Hi. The younger people mumble in response. There are 2 younger couples in their early 20s, 2 middle-aged couples, and one which looks like they're beyond the age of 60. The older ones just give you a reserved nod. Understandable. Some people like to be left alone on holiday. Other people is their idea of hell. A creaking, squealing sound. Meanwhile, your tour guide has gotten into the bus and dropped into the large antique driver's seat. He pulls a lever and the bus door closes. While the bus pulls off down the parking lot, your guide croaks into a loudspeaker system. In a bored voice. Dearly beloved, my name is Ezekiel. I'll be your driver and wellness consultant for the day. It's my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the Gilman Hotel to the Caligula Wellness Program. I must remind you that it is strictly prohibited to take photographs of our wellness facility. No photos. Ow! The speakers crackle and emit shrill noises. This, however, does not seem to bother Ezekiel in the slightest. We begin our wellness program in the popular and world-famous INNSMOUTH beach. No photos. You look around indecisively. Yeah, interview fellow travelers about the missing girl. You get up again and stand in the aisle of the bus. The eyes of all 10 passengers are now directed at you. They look partly curious, partly annoyed, as if you wanted to sell them something. You take out the photo, hold it up, and walk slowly down the corridor. This girl disappeared a week ago. There's a small chance that she's still at INNSMOUTH. I've seen her? Yeah, me too. Yes, I think I've seen her too. What? 3 people have seen her? The tourists take a closer look at the picture again and nod vigorously. A young blonde woman with a nerd shirt. A nerd shirt? I'm imagining just a shirt that says the words nerd on it, and I love it. And sunglasses in her hair gives you more details. We saw her downtown in a pedestrian zone. Her boyfriend puts his arm around her to clarify the we. Can you be more specific? The two giggle happily. We tried a few games in the arcades. She was walking around there. Must have been early afternoon. She went most of her times where the mean games are. Mean games? You don't quite know what she means by that. Well, you know. Oh. Well, you know. Her boyfriend interferes. Shooty, shooty, kill, kill. Mean. Yeah, sure. Yeah, real awful. You say, but something inside you dies. You keep to yourself the fact that today's computer games are an exciting new medium, which put even the most expensive blockbuster movies to shame. Well, you've had this kind of conversation before, and you've decided that your time is simply too precious for it. How do I find the arcades? When you stand in the town square with the big creepy fountain, you'll be able to see our shopping street. The woman explains and makes somewhat unclear gestures. You have to walk down the street, and at the very end you'll see the archway. There are lights on it and everything. It's done retro style. So the arcades seem to be Tabitha's favorite place. Good to know. You decided to make the best of this forced break and stay in your seat. Outside, sad old buildings pass you by, then a cemetery, and a repetitive chain of small fishing tackle shops, markets, and houses with drawn curtains. On your left, you see houses. It sounds through the PA system. On your right, you can see more houses. For a few minutes, the bus drives through some narrow, winding alleys. Increasingly, the simple houses give way to bigger warehouses. The distinct cries of seagulls suggest that you're approaching the harbor. The bus finally turns into a road that runs parallel to the quay wall. The other tourists start cackling excitedly as they spot the fishing boats and smaller boats in the harbor basin. On your right, you can see the sea. Let's look at the houses. You pointedly sit down on the side of the bus facing away from the harbor. You've always been someone who swims against the current for no particular reason. Houses. Well. Admittedly, as with the town center, you find it remarkable that the buildings are not collapsing in on themselves. As far as the eye can see, only rotten warehouses, narrow apartment buildings, and shipyards. Now and then your heart skips a beat when a pair of creepy pop eyes peek out from behind twitching curtains. Has your throat been so dry the whole time? The bus leaves the paved road and goes down a narrow gravel path that leads directly to the beach. A faded sign shows the way to the INNSMOUTH Beach Bar, which is actually just a wooden hut surrounded by mostly empty deck chairs. With a jolt, the bus suddenly stops. You've come to the end of the gravel road. Final destination, everybody disembark now. Ezekiel's bored voice comes from the loudspeakers. The front entrance opens and the driver shuffles calmly down the stairs. Final destination? You just gotta love these people. One after the other, your travel group gets out of the bus. In the meantime, your wellness expert has lit up another cigar. The Gilman Wellness Program is best enjoyed in our Caligula feel-good bathrobes, which are available in our beach cabins. Strict dress code for hygiene reasons. He gestures limply to some crooked wooden huts flanking the path to the sandy beach. In our beach cabins, you'll find everything you need. You can lock up your clothes there. Oh, how lovely of you, coo the tourists, and they really spoil you here. Maybe these people are right after all. Yes, exactly. After all, you get all this for free. And what should be open for new experiences, okay? Has city life embittered you? Should you perhaps spend more time with moronic tourists in order to appreciate the simple pleasures of life again? Yeah, let's go into the cabin. What the heck. Some of the cabins are not yet occupied by the others, so you have the choice. You enter. Dilapidated, rancid, or smelling of urine? Let's do the dilapidated one. Excellent choice. It even has a key. In this small hut, there isn't even room to stretch out your arms. A simple nail was driven into a wall at eye level and serves as a hook for your bathrobe. As you take off your coat, you notice some deep scratches that run across 3 of the wooden planks. You don't recall Ezekiel mentioning any wild bears. You actually managed to get undressed without smashing the nail into your eye. You've stripped naked in tighter and more uncomfortable places, but that's a story for another day. You fold your shoes and clothes into a neat pile. That bathrobe may be a few sizes too big for you, but that doesn't bother you much. You lock your cabin from the outside and store the small key in your breast pocket. You are ready. Ready for wellness. Ezekiel shuffles in front of your wellness group. Your little group is now walking the last stretch across the beach. The sight in front of you is hardly a postcard motif. Are there even postcards from Innsmouth? A rough wind lets the even rougher bathrobe whip against your skin. Dark clouds now come up on the horizon. You notice how all the colors of the sea, the beach, and the people seem to be swallowed up by the strange light conditions here. Am I about to be, sacrificed? Am I about to die? You hold your hand up in front of your face. Your skin looks gray and matte, but you still feel relaxed. The murmur of the sea invigorates you. You feel a deep longing rising within you, a serene sense of inner peace and freedom. Oh no. A monotonous beat. This sound seems to come directly from the beach bar, a few hundred yards off in the distance, which appears to be surrounded by about a dozen people. Given the changing weather, it's perhaps no surprise. What else is one supposed to do on this beach, apart from drinking cheap cocktails and dancing to bad music? Further away, untouched by tourism, wellness, and scratchy bathrobes, you can make out the lighthouse of the harbor. Ezekiel leads you directly to the shore. Oh no. Strange. How's this supposed to work? You had expected small pavilions where you'd be massaged and pampered after a short dip in the sea. But apart from the bar, a few hundred yards away, there's nothing to be seen far and wide that could suggest wellness. Except for the metal frame. A kind of cage stands in the shallow water. It's just big enough for your group to fit in. Is this the spa you were told about? Oh no. Oh no. Ezekiel does walk up to the rickety cage and unlocks its padlock. With a tired smile, he opens the gate and points inside. Voila. What the hell? You blurt out, no doubt not for the last time that day. Curiously, the heads of your fellow travelers turn towards you. Obviously, they're asking themselves the same question. They probably just lack your ability to express themselves as directly as you can. Ezekiel shrugs. You call this a wellness spa? All heads now turn to Ezekiel. He's unimpressed with your truculent behavior and simply replies, yes. Okay, he won that battle, bastard. Phase 1 of our treatment is seawater therapy. Ezekiel makes a lazy gesture towards the tetanus-ridden cage. During a 2-hour session, the participant's body is exposed to healthy sea air. At the same time, regular rinses ensure a firm skin. The effect is particularly positive for participants with neurodermatitis. He looks at the guests. Phase 1 is followed by the deep treatment, if you please. Visibly bored to death, Ezekiel points to the open gate of the metal cage. 2 of the younger ladies venture carefully into the shallow water. They gurgle excitedly as their feet dip into the cold, muddy seawater. Your partners follow them, and so does the rest of the group. One after the other, tourists enter the cage. Oh no. You're the last to follow them in. As you step through the gate, your hand slides over one of the slippery metal bars. It doesn't take long until a cold shiver runs down your spine. There's not much room in here. Your group stands uncomfortably close to each other, and even the women who were cackling excitedly only a moment ago seem to be a bit uncomfortable with this form of wellness. A loud noise brings you back to reality. It almost sounded like a lock had snapped shut behind you. This is confirmed when you turn around. You see how Ezekiel takes a step back and lets a set of keys disappear in his pocket. Studies have shown that rest and relaxation massively increases the effect of the therapy. I'm off. Good luck. Hang on. Luck? If you're always skeptical about new experiences, you'll never have any exciting holiday stories to share. At last, your turn to tell crazy stories from your trips. And it's true, you already feel more invigorated than you have in a long time. The sea air cleanses your lungs, the seawater cleans your toes, the whole sky is now covered in gray clouds, seagulls circle on the horizon as if weightless. You cherish the moment. Oh, we're dead. We're dead. You pass the time with, I guess, meditation. Inner peace has never been your strength, and now's probably the good time to start. Time passes. At times agonizingly slow. At others as if in a flash. In the first half hour, the tourists still make small talk, but even the encouraging words and stories become less and less frequent. It's almost nightfall. The sun is about to disappear behind the roofs of the town. The light of the sun drains away, and with it any residual heat. The only constant is the sound of the waves. The steady rise of the sea level. By now the water reaches up to your knees. Two young women from your group seem increasingly concerned. I must say, it's getting really cold. How much longer is this going to take? You decide to get the group to panic. He's not coming back. That was the plan. We were locked in here and left to die. And if we don't starve, pneumonia will do the rest. The two women gasp for breath like fish who have just washed ashore. There are a lot of concerned looks. If you don't have anything helpful to contribute, why don't you just shut up? Barks the older man. A metallic sound echoes through the night. For a second you think that this might be someone approaching to rescue you, but it's only a few of your fellow inmates who are rattling at the bars. Men and women encourage each other. They shake and tug at the bars in the hope that it might be rusty and unstable somewhere. Oh no. Another hour passes. Without actually saying it out loud, your group has given up hope that Ezekiel might return. Their tired faces and shivering sunken figures let you know all you need to. The men make several more attempts to break the lock or the bars, but even though the metal bars look old and rusty, without a tool there's no chance. In the end, their attempts only lead to more despair. You look at the beach. Maybe there's someone we can call for help. Nobody is stupid enough to use INNSMOUTH Beach for surfing or even swimming, neither in the afternoon nor after the sunset. Yet you can still make out lights in the distance. Colorful lights. Must be lights from the beach bar that is still going despite the bad weather. Apparently, some tourists will have still not given up on their expectation for a beach party. If only the bar were closer. The sound of the waves drowns out any attempt to draw attention to you. You can only hope that a drunken couple will wander close to you. What was that? The elderly lady suddenly shrieks. She tears your group out of its communal experience of self-pity and shivering. What do you mean? Her husband gives her a reassuring hug. There was something out there. Trembling, she points in the direction of the open ocean. The group shifts its position to that side of the cage. Curiously, they press themselves against the grid to get a glimpse of the something. Could it have been a diver? Someone from the Coast Guard? I saw something, but it wasn't human, she screams. It was just big and had huge eyes and claws and teeth, sharp teeth. The group exchanges glances. One by one, they step back from the bars. The short-lived hope of finally being rescued from the cage is given way to something else. Honey. Her husband mumbles and gently strokes her teeth. But the gesture does not help to appease the woman. She abruptly pushes him away as far as the narrow cage allows. It was there, and then it was gone. The woman seems to you to be resolute. Maybe your mind was playing tricks on her. What if she saw a shark? Or... damn, you really should have paid more attention to this underwater documentary. Still searching the horizon. Ah! The younger couple screams in unison. Panicked, they press themselves against the bars, then against each other, then against the rest of the group. Their eyes are searching the water. There! There was something slimy on my leg. The woman squeaks in a trembling voice. On my ankle, her boyfriend adds. His voice is unusually high-pitched. Maybe it was a small fish. They swim in shallow water, too, the elderly man says in order to calm the group again. If anything, I'm rather surprised we haven't had a visitor before. You admire him for his efforts to lift the mood, but no one pays him any attention. Oh. Eek! Ah! What was that? Several people in the cage shout. Was this a shoal of fish swimming around your legs? There! Something slippery wraps itself around your ankles. You try to... grab it? Despite the relatively high level of the sea and the waves, you attempt to try to catch the slippery something that is winding itself around your feet. Your head dives into the cold water, something you could certainly have done without. You grope blindly in the water until your fingers touch something smooth, which then disappears in a flash. Hello? Wow, kinda sexy. Right? They're kinda hot. Oh my god. Anyway. Oh my god. Look! Somebody knows something is pressing against the cage from the outside. And indeed, as the woman said earlier, it's not human. It's a sea creature that could be straight out of a 1950s horror movie. The scaly creature, however, is not a man in a fish costume. It's much too lifelike and big for that. Must be at least 6'6", maybe more. 6.5 feet tall? Oh my god, okay. The body is bent forwards, and its mighty arms and claw-like hands are wrapped around 2 bars of the cage. Mighty arms. Damn. The head emerges directly from a thick bull's neck, and it has huge swollen eyes and a broad mouth whose long teeth sprout past the lips. The head of the thing looks like a goddamn fish, of the kind that are said to live miles below sea level, in deep trenches. The only saving grace is the fact that the weak moonlight leaves some parts of his body in uncertainty. The group has quickly moved to the other side of the cage. The gaze of the thing wanders over worried faces. His throat gives off a sinister rumble. You try to... Let's communicate with them. Can we hit on them? The creature is focused on the rest of the group. It looks at the couples that have huddled together anxiously. You clear your throat. The fish creature turns its massive head in your direction. Do you understand me? You ask with loud, clear words. Nothing, no reaction. You begin to wonder if there's anything at all going on beyond those big eyes and how big the brain might be with which this mighty creature was blessed. The creature blinks, 2 skin flaps shut vertically over his eyes. It's an unnatural sight that sends another shiver down your spine. With a jerk, the creature pushes itself off the cage and dives into the next wave. It's gone. God, you're such a dick, hisses one of the young ladies. But who means well, the elderly man says. Okay, fine, maybe he's not that bad. Maybe you should have asked for his name, or the name of anyone here, but that ship has probably sailed. A sound tears you away from those important thoughts. A short, quick splash. Wendy! Screams one of those who stood in the far corner of the cage. She's gone! You approach the others to get a better idea of what happened. She was standing next to me, and then she simply sank under. Something pulled her into water. That's impossible. How would... The tourist's conversation is interrupted. Wendy emerges from the water on the other side of the cage. Irritated, she rubs water from her eyes. She takes a few steps and lets herself be moved forward by a light wave until she notices all of you. She spins around. What? How did that... What was... She stops. In her wet bathrobe, she now stands shivering in the water. Yeah, climb onto the cage. Climb onto the cage, you shout to her. This should be the only safe and dry place at the moment. Good idea, says someone appreciatively. Finally, someone recognizes that you're full of great ideas. Wendy trudges through the water back to the metal scaffolding, and after exchanging a few kisses with her lover, she actually manages to climb up onto the cage. Exposed to the rough wind, she sits shivering on the metal bars. Wendy curls into a ball and claws her hands into her wet bathrobe. You can't really see her face through the metal bars, but the young woman seems to be in shock. She's just shut down. Well, at least she's safe. A blood-curdling scream tears you back to reality. Then both men and women start screeching. Confused, you try to get an overview of the situation. Your group inside the cage has been decimated by one more person. Oh God, Alan! The young man cries. Everyone presses themselves against the metal bars. For a moment, they hope to see the man emerge from the water like Wendy lets them... The hope to see the man emerge from the water like Wendy lets them forget the danger they're in. Curious and overwhelmed by the situation, you join in. You look out into the sea. You don't have to wait long. Something slides around your cage just below the water surface. It comes up briefly, but you cannot make out much amid the foamy water. The only thing you do notice is that it's bigger than the creature that paid you a visit earlier. Maybe this time it was a fish? You never thought that one day you'd long for a shark. Ah! Startled, you turn your gaze away from the water outside. A young couple has disappeared right from your midst. The remaining 3 women and 4 men cling together, their faces distorted into grimaces of pure horror. You go up to them? Oh my god. I feel like we're dead no matter what. I feel like the game is just prolonging our death. But I guess let's stay in the group. One thing you definitely do not want right now is to be alone, defenseless. Wordlessly, you move closer to the group in the waist-high water. Cheerily, if nobody says anything as you snuggle up to the other freezing bodies in the far too thin bathrobes. A big jerk shakes the group as a woman is pulled down into the water, and her boyfriend, who is clinging to her, is dragged down along with her. The dozen people have shrunk by about half. You realize you have to act now. Your heart is pounding. Cling to the metal bars, I guess? Stupid cage must be good for something. When those things come for you, you're going to make it as hard for them as you possibly can. You put your fingers around the iron bars. The metal is cold, rusty, but also surprisingly grippy. The cage is not very high, 8 feet at the most. You could try climbing up. Underneath, the waves splash against the bars. Yeah, let's climb. You attempt to lift yourself up and climb the metal bars, works out straight away. Your grip is firm and the panic provides you with plenty of adrenaline. Like a monkey, you climb up on the upper bars. Wendy, who has been sitting lethargically on top of the cage the whole time, now comes to again. Her trembling fingers touch yours gently. You can do it. I'll help you. I won't let go of you. The grip of her scratched hands does not exactly give you a stable hold, but it is the mental support that gives you strength. For God's sake, that's disgusting! An elderly lady says from below. Clearly, while hanging from the ceiling, the loose bathrobe reveals more than it conceals. You're beyond caring right now. Ah! Another person cries. You look down, but now there are only 4 people left. A young couple and the retired couple. Help! One young man and the retired couple. Shit, the man hisses. You blink and he's gone too. Oh, Roy! Why did we have to come here? The old lady sobs into her husband's shoulder. You know why you're here, to find a little missing girl. It's a mission you've criminally neglected so far, but right now you have other problems. Hey, yes you! You look down again. The old man pleads with his eyes. His wife is clinging to him. She trembles and looks as pale as a ghost. You must help Dorothy! Oh, damn it. A few no, not without yous later, the old man gives his wife a leg up. The old woman stretches out her hand. You... Oh, shit. Oh, no! What do I do? Oh, I'm sorry, Dorothy. I'm sorry, I'm clinging to the bars. I'm clinging to the bars. You cling even more to the bars, pretending not to realize what's happening under you. You piece of shit, the old man says. Oh no! The splashing sound signals to you that the lady has given up trying to miraculously climb the top of the cage. Several more splashes indicate that the couple won't be there when you turn around again. You asshole! Wendy whispers in disgust. She's been following everything closely. You complete asshole! A lump forms in your throat. What are you gonna say to her? Just remain silent, dude. Deep down, you know you're right. Dorothy never stood a chance. But to say this out loud is going too far, even for you. Maybe you don't care what Wendy up there on the cage thinks about you. The young woman laughs hoarsely. Whatever, right? Who cares if you all get killed, right? She carefully settles down on the hard, cold metal bars of the cage. Your position is even less comfortable. With your arms and legs wedged between the bars, all you can do is hope that your position is secure and that you won't fall into the water. So far, you've been lucky. Whatever pulled the others down has not yet tried to pick off the upper part of the cage. Oh my god. Okay. The shrieking of the seagulls is the first thing you hear, followed by the sound of the waves. It's a sound that, until last night, you had always associated with relaxation and peace of mind. Oh man, I don't believe it. It's a familiar voice that finally wakes you from your exhausted half-sleep. Never had this happen. How'd you manage to stay here for so long? My arms would have fallen off. Arms? Oh, that's right. These extremities you can no longer feel. Slowly you come to your senses and realize where you are. You're still hanging on the ceiling of the cage, your arms and legs wedged between the bars that you won't fall down. You want to move, flee, run, or hit him, but your arms not even move an inch. Your skin is turned completely blue due to cold and a partially interrupted blood supply. Dazed, you look around. Wendy's gone. Maybe that thing from the ocean got her, but you're hoping she made it out. That she perhaps climbed down during low tide in the early morning hours to get help. Ezekiel grins at you. Just you wait. I'll make you pay, you and whoever else is behind this thing. You hiss, wishing your voice had more strength than it currently does. Yeah, I can't wait to see that, Ezekiel says, unimpressed. So how do you feel now after the seawater treatment? He asks with a mocking grin. Like new, you whisper weakly. To be clear, we have a rule here. Whoever is offered to Dagon and his children and is spared will not be harmed. You can be really proud. Ezekiel continues conversationally as he undoes the lock of the cage. Dagon must have big plans for you. The gate is open. Without any further concern for you, Ezekiel wades through the mud of the low tide back to the beach, probably to his bus. I can't believe it. It takes you another hour before you dare to climb down from the cage ceiling and dip your feet into the seawater. Your arms and legs burn like fire as the blood resumes its circulation. With the declared goal of leaving Innsmouth as soon as possible, you manage to crawl onto the beach. Then you collapse. Memories torment you. Memories of cold, slimy things that do not belong in this world. Memories of simple but kind-hearted people who were torn screaming into the depths of the sea, swallowed up by the face of the earth. You've survived, but at what cost? You survived the wellness trip with compliments from the Gilman Hotel. Oh my god. Okay, so that was one of the endings. Surviving the wellness trip. Oh my god. Alright. Alright. We're going back to the Gilman Hotel and not doing that wellness trip. Let's inspect the cars again. Go inside. I'm still gonna go here, because that's the only place to stay, but I think this time I'm gonna flirt with Cornelius. You have beautiful eyes. You have beautiful eyes. You whisper and lean over the counter. Any plans tonight? Yes, the concierge says. Okay, someone's playing hard to get, but two can play that game. You move away from the counter with a heavy heart. Okay, I'd like to book a room. Answer all the questions. You tick the box next to pleasure, wink wink. How long will you be staying with us? As long as it takes. Favorite view? You write in view of your room, wink wink. Would you like to be woken up? Yes. Do you deep sleeply? Do you deep sleeply? Do you sleep deeply as my feelings for you? Are you traveling by yourself? Maybe tonight I won't be by myself. Do you have family? I wish to start a family. Who knows you're here? Al knows. Can I interest you? Do you like going to the steam room? And then no. How long can you hold your breath? I've been able to breathe underwater since I was a child. And we're gonna be Noob Slayer. Alright. Alright. So flirting with him didn't do anything. We're not booking the wellness session. We're going to our room. My god. Oh, Dorothy, I'm sorry. I wanted to live. I wanted to live, Dorothy. My god. Oh. Alright. Let's try to find some other awful way we're gonna be killed. Or we didn't die. Some awful way we might be killed. You look at a golden panel with the layout of the different rooms and floors. Room 666. There it is. 4th floor, left wing of the building. You walk up the stairs to the upper floors, but you can still feel the eyes of the concierge on you. Panting, you finally reach your floor. An almost endless corridor spreads out in front of you. At the other end, you can see a figure who seems to be as lost as you are. Didn't the building look much smaller from the outside? You walk down the corridor when you notice the figure approaching you. Your brain is mentally preparing itself for a benign hotel small talk, but wait, it's you. You walk a bit further and realize you're standing in front of a mirror. Oh, that's why the corridor looked so vast. The mirror marks a fork. According to the room numbers, your room should be further on the left. In the corridor towards the right, you can see a small yellow sign on the floor. Maintenance. What do you want to do? Let's go to our room. Wow! After 2 more confusing turns and giant mirrors, you reach room 666. Finally! You're going to drop your stuff and take a nap. Good plan. You jerk the key back and forth in the lock until you hear a satisfying clicking sound. Oh, a soothing warmth hits you as you enter the room. Immediately, the synapses in your brain switch into energy saving mode. Oh, the trip to INNSMOUTH has probably taken more out of you. More than you had thought. You don't even notice the rest of the room. The sight of the bed makes you yearn for a little shut-eye. Well, let's unpack a little bit first. Oh, that's right. You're supposed to be doing something else. A little girl needs to be found, and the reward for it needs to be paid into your bank account. It's only when you march to the closet that you realize you have nothing to unpack. After your briefcase mysteriously disappeared, all you have left is a very basic survival kit, a toothbrush, and travel bottles of various care products that you had stuffed into your coat pockets in a rush. You go into the bathroom and position your treasures around the sink. A handful of ice-cold water is enough to refresh you. Good thing you didn't go straight to bed. Who knows, you might have never woken up again. Well, now that you feel a little more refreshed, you leave the bathroom and survey your tiny kingdom. Your place is furnished only with the bare necessities. The bare necessities of life. Your bed is flanked by a chest of drawers. At the window, there's a desk with curved ornaments, and next to the bathroom door, there's a huge, massive, dark wardrobe which extends all the way up to the ceiling. The yellowing floral wallpaper is slowly detaching itself from the walls in some places, and on the wall, you can see a range of paintings with elaborately decorated frames. What do you want to do now? Let's look at the pictures. Since this room has not been equipped with a television, you're left with art as your only entertainment. The first picture shows a ship in a choppy sea. The motif looks familiar, but pretty. The impressive fight of the small ship against the huge forces of nature. Half hidden in the background, you can see a small spot of light. You have to squint and walk up even closer to make out a lighthouse. Even some elements of a town are visible. Could this be INNSMOUTH? You turn to the next picture and immediately take an involuntary step back. You're looking at a grouchy, weather-beaten man, the embodiment of a sailor, complete with a sailor's cap, a full gray beard, and a thick black coat collar. The painter of this work opted for a frontal perspective rather than a more advantageous side angle. His head slightly raised, the man's piercing gaze seems to be fixed on something in the far distance. A small spark of light drowns in his sinister eyes. Ooh. Odd choice for the hotel room decor. The third and last picture hangs on the adjacent wall, an idyllic view of the beach on a quiet day. A pair of lovers with their backs turned to the viewer. He's wearing a white shirt. She's wearing a yellow dress. The two of them are in an embrace on a sand dune and look towards the horizon. This image fills you with a profound sense of calm. What do you want to do? Let's leave. I don't want to open the window because doesn't it smell? No, everything else smelled of sulfur coming here. Well, whatever. You're now reasonably refreshed again and ready to face the town. Armed only with your wallet, your mobile phone, and the photo of the little girl, you step out into the corridor and lock the room door. You turn right at the first fork, then left again, right? Anxious to get out, you suddenly find yourself at a dead end. After trying a few other left-right combinations, you finally find the golden side on a wall which shows you the way to the stairs. As you walk down the circling stairs, you look at the reception on the first floor. The eerie, almost mechanical smile of the concierge greets you. It's as if he has nothing better to do than watch her every move. You arrive downstairs and decide to, let's go talk to him again. Let's see if we can't keep flirting. Nothing much has changed at the reception. A voice emerges from behind the concierge's clenched teeth. I hope you're satisfied with your room. It's perfect. I want to die here. Ah, the concierge puts his greenish hand on his heart. I'm so happy when guests say this. Alright, let's leave. Time to go and look for Tabitha. Let's go to the town center. Because the harbor is where murder happens, and fish people. Although really sexy fish people. Like... Anyway. INNSMOUTH Town Square, the beating heart of the city. A big attraction for local tourism, it is animated by groups of visitors who are chatting away in the sun. A lot less animated are the lethargic locals who are lurching about the square. A rather creepy-looking fountain is in the middle of the square. A gigantic, fish-like stone statue stretches its claws towards the sky, with water flowing out of its menacing jaw. The water sprays into the air, providing a refreshing breeze to the tourists sitting around the edge of the fountain. Looking at it closely now, it all rather looks like a giant drooling fish monster. The square is surrounded by handsome old buildings, although the side streets reveal the true Innsmouth, crumbling facades, just far enough away that the average tourist doesn't notice them immediately. You also notice the mean grimaces of gargoyles sternly looking down onto the visitors from the corners of their buildings. You make a mental note to block out the Innsmouth architecture in future. At first glance, you can see the town hall and a police station behind the fountain. There should be a few more public facilities nearby, but you don't notice anything right away. Let's go to the police station first, to see if we can enlist some help, or at least draw their attention to the missing girl. You enter the precinct and find yourself in a small foyer. A counter separates visitors from the actual office of the police officers on duty. It's standard practice, observed even in a cranky town like Innsmouth. A chilly, not particularly inviting old building with only a single, narrow window on the northernmost wall. The room is bathed in yellowish light, but rather than a warming glow, it's much more like a warm sick. Gross. Like some nice piss. Yellowed wallpaper is about to come loose from the walls, probably a process that's been ongoing for years, the exciting finale of which you can witness today. Almost every one of the poisonous green tiles on the floor has cracks or other small damage. Wow. This place sounds beautiful. A policeman is on reception desk duty. He looks at you through dull eyes. The police station gives off the same lethargic vibe that you've come to expect from Innsmouth by now, but who knows? Maybe they can help you anyway. I doubt they can help us because people go missing from Innsmouth all the time, so I'm sure the police station doesn't care or actively helps to get people going missing, but let's talk to the guard personnel. Okay, get down to the point. The life of a little girl is in danger. The wooden floorboards creak under your shoes as you approach the cop. They sound like moaning of an audience somewhere in the distance, commenting on a display of epic stupidity. The cop on duty has been watching you intently ever since you entered the room. He clears his throat before talking to you.
So, you want to file a missing person report?
Yes, that's why I'm here, you answer truthfully. You're a little startled. How does he know this? Can he read your mind? Perhaps you think to yourself he should quit his job and make a lot of dough playing blackjack in Vegas. The cop rummages around for a notepad and pen. How'd you know that? The cop looks askance at the board with all the missing people reports, then incredibly slowly his eyes find yours again.
I'm a good judge of character.
Huh. So,
please let me know all the details.
The cop interrupts in a monotonous and bored voice, his eyes trained on his notepad.
Then we can start pursuing the case.
So, this is about Tabitha Marsh. Thinking about it, I wonder if the missing persons report has already been filed. Could you please let me know about any news in the case? The cop frowns.
Tabitha? No, I've never heard that name before.
Don't react. You lift your hands in a shooting gesture. They're in a soothing gesture. Oh my god. Pew-pew. There are definitely better ways of spending your time than trying to pick a fight in the police station. The whole thing's probably already dealt with. I'm sure there's an explanation for everything. The cop gets out of his chair. A voice in the back of your mind tells you that it's a good thing you're separated from him by a glass window. He turns to go into the back office, but by that point you're already on your way out. Something tells you that you're wasting your time here. You say goodbye quickly, and under the stern watch of the cop on duty, you leave the station. As you step outside, you start wondering whether you had seen the guy's eyes blink at all. Oh well, not that important. You leave the police station. When the heavy door snaps shut behind you, you exhale. Without noticing, you've been holding your breath ever since turning your back towards the little wooden desk. There's something off about that cop, and it didn't take an online detective course to figure that out. Yeah. Okay, so he's never heard of Tabitha. Into the alleys? Oh. Alright, let's go into some alleys. Let's get murdered. The town center is dilapidated and seems to be completely dead. None of the footpaths are maintained, and weeds have worked their way into every crevice. You notice carelessly dumped fast food packages, beer bottles, and other trash. Some of the narrow side streets between the houses are so crammed with bulky trash that you wouldn't be able to walk along them. Many of the houses are in a poor state of repair. Cracked windows, loose wooden boards, hanging off the walls, and doors nailed shut. It's impossible to tell in which color the houses were originally painted. You're struck by a bad stench several times, the cause of which you'd rather not investigate. As you keep walking, you get to a kind of shopping street with a small number of shops. Half of them seem to be abandoned. The first shop on the corner is a snack bar. Its name, Joe's Pizza and Burger, is printed in big letters on individual sheets of paper. Right next to it, there's a shop for fishing gear, then a hairdresser just a few doors down. In that shop window, you can see faded photos of the trendiest haircuts of the 1970s had to offer. Yo, let's get a haircut! Beyond the hairdresser, you can make out a kiosk selling sweets and magazines, and also a liquor store wedged in between two empty buildings. Opposite, you find a shop whose name seems to be Zan. Judging from the window, it's a music store. At the other end of the street, there's a building with the inscription Arkham Akatis. The letters are made from neon tubes, but some have been burnt out and have never been replaced. Maybe some of the shopkeepers will be able to tell you more about your client. You decide which shop to enter. I mean, I know the arcades is probably the way to go, so let's do that. It's weird, it's like he has knowledge of a different life. Our main character. The game's arcade is hard to miss. At the end of the dead shopping street, a shrill neon sign draws attention to itself. You think it looks rather retro, although the people of INNSMOUTH will probably think it's a state-of-the-art design. As you approach, familiar sounds start ringing in your ears. A heady mix of cheaply produced gun sound effects and mysterious sounds from pinball machines. Fun! The cocktail of synth effects. Oh, gives you a jolt of nostalgia. I love arcades! Okay. In Portland, when I was visiting Portland, I didn't get to go to one of my favorite places, which is the Pinball Museum, which is, it's $20 to get in, and they have like a bajillion pinball arcade game, or pinball machines, and old arcade games like Frogger, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Asteroid, Snake, just like so much stuff, and you pay a flat free, and then you don't have to pay for any of the games. You can just play them. And every time I go there, I'm there for like 8 hours. Like an incredible amount of time. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, jolted nostalgia. Happy memories flood your brain. You first beat 'em up game when your opponent, a super limber septuagenarian yoga dude who played the boxer, ripped you apart, and all those exciting moments when you managed to win. The few tourist families who have ventured into the city center with you were all dragged in here by their excited children. Now you too pass through the gates to the realm of flashing lights and bad ventilation. It's extremely dark, and the screens of the devices appear to be the only source of light. Wow, that is very dark. Families, slackers, groups of teenagers, and individual children crowd together in front of screens to catch a glimpse of the games that are currently being played or have a shot at playing themselves. The arcade is smaller than the elaborate archway initially suggested, but the equipment is not so bad for a small coastal town. Everything is beeping and flashing. Oh, I want to look at the games, but I gotta look for the missing girl first. No matter how tempting it may be, which it is very tempting, you don't have time to enjoy yourself now. Tabitha might be one of the children running around here. Your gaze passes over the rows of younger players, but like a moth drawn to light, your attention is pulled in it again and again by the machines. Oh, your resolve crumbles. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. No one will mind if you play for a few minutes. Oh no, is this gonna be like the Lotus Island from the Odyssey, where you never want to leave. Anyway, one of the most important lessons you have learned, not from your own cases, but from television, is to look out for the small things. Only an absolute beginner would ignore the slot machines and look for the missing girls right away. You, on the other hand, are playing the long game. Maybe you'll see her name token on one of the highest score tables. Maybe you'll be able to improve your own reflexes, toughen yourself, and steel your nerves by playing a few rounds. A little girl is missing, but you'd rather play a round of computer games. Don't worry, no one will ever find out. How often will you return to INNSMOUTH, you ask yourself? The answer, of course, is hopefully never again, so you might as well make the most of it and try to leave new high scores for posterity. You're interested in pinball! On one of the walls, there's a row of pinball machines. Curiously, no one is playing or even looking in the direction of the machines. It's as if there's an invisible barrier that you have to cross to get into the area. Not even the unlicensed 80s movies themes seem to be of interest to anyone. Perhaps it's not so surprising after all. Who would try to chase after a real metal ball if they can hunt down virtual demon zombies? The good thing about pinball machines is that they're cheap. You only need a few coins and you don't have to queue. Out of the 3 machines available, you go for the one with the vaguely recognizable, but definitely not licensed, science fiction theme. The machine's barren spell has finally come at an end. You put in a quarter and it rumbles awake from its deep slumber. It lights up and the pinball shoots out of the bottom right corner into the playing area and starts jumping around between the bumpers. Oh, this is great! You had forgotten about how cool reality can be! Using the 2 buttons on the side of the machine, you can move the flippers. When you play, you are considered and focused. The ball flies to the upper regions of the machine, bounces on the bumpers, and lands on one of the higher up flippers where you manage to hold it. Your fingers frantically jab the buttons, and the flippers go up and down, and then the ball slowly rolls down a little shaft on the side, closer and closer to the void. You start screaming. Oh, it's pure adrenaline. The frantic flippers manage to lift the ball up a fraction, but then you drop it right down the middle. Oh, you've lost before the game has even properly started. The machine flashes and beeps, almost as if it were laughing at you. And now you know why no one else is playing the pinball machines. You step back to put some distance between you and the hellish machine. You still have 2 games left over, but you'd be happy for someone else to suffer through them. You decide to go back to the center of the arcade. Alright, retro games. You can see a bunch of old machines, which look like they're from the late 80s. There are barely any people here. A lot of the small screens show a swirl of flashing pixels that are barely recognizable as games. Some of them even have 2 colors. At least the games are cheap. They flash and beep. Yeah, let's play. You think about which classic game to play. Okay, there's Polypixel War, Street Kicker 2, P-Fried, Pixelbeus. Let's do Street Kicker 2. The mother of all beat-em-ups! A classic fight game with lots of colorful fighters. You think about playing for a few rounds. Yeah, select a fighter. Off we go! You've quickly identified the buttons for hitting and kicking, but you don't know yet how to do any special maneuvers. The second opponent beats you up badly. Game over. Let's put another coin. Just by random experimentation, you manage to find the block move. You expertly wait until your opponent attacks you, and then you surprise him when he prepares for a special move. You manage to clear the level! All the timings of the next opponent, however, are less clear and you're knocked out again. Alright, let's give up. The figure of your opponent stands above you, scoffing as the timer runs out mercilessly. You decide you wasted enough money on this machine and start looking around the arcade again. A familiar sensation hits you, the nagging feeling that you could have made it if only you had tried. Stupid game. Alright, I think let's leave. Ridiculous. Even an ancient C64 has more exciting games on offer than this arcade. After you've reassured yourself that all the machines in this place are not worth your time, you decide to focus on your mission again. What now? Look for the girl again. You give the search for Tabitha another go, but given the bad lighting in here, even if the girl were standing a mere 2 yards away from you, there's no way you would recognize her. After walking around the machines a couple of times, you give up on finding her in the arcades. You leave the arcades on wobbly legs. After all, the flashing colors, incessant beeping and shooting sounds, you welcome the dullness of the shopping street. The evening has already begun. Have you really wasted the whole afternoon here? It's unfortunate, but a good investigator knows when to admit defeat. After all, you were paid in advance. It's time to go to the hotel. Alright, we're going back to the hotel. Let's hope that we survive, I guess. A gray veil covers the town. The light of the sun drains away, and with it, any residual heat. Although INNSMOUTH is a boring coastal town and probably doesn't have any street gangs, you feel relieved when you see the gables of the Gilman Hotel. On your way here, you distinctly felt as if someone or something was watching you. Or following you, rather. You could swear there were shadows. They were only visible for a fraction of a second whenever you entered an alley. These fleeting shadows. They're still there lurking somewhere in the dark. You can feel it in your gut. You'll be safe soon. The growing paranoia, the constant glances over your shoulder, soon you can forget about all that. Grabbing a bottle of Jack is the only movement required once you're in your hotel room. The parking lot in front of the hotel is completely empty. Have all the guests left? Does INNSMOUTH even have a peak tourist season? Fortunately, the entry gate is not locked. In fact, everything seems just as it did this afternoon when you left the hotel. Not a soul around. The chandeliers light your way into the foyer, and the creaking floorboards welcome you. As you enter the foyer, you can hardly believe your eyes. Who is waiting for you at the reception? None other than Cornelius Gilman III, and you could swear he's in exactly the same pose in which you left him. He stands motionless at the reception desk. Let's greet them. You can't just completely ignore the only other person in the building. You stroll leisurely to the reception desk and nod at Cornelius. How nice to see you. I trust your stay in INNSMOUTH has been pleasant so far. Yeah. Yeah, great. You automatically reply, the same way you do when a child presents you with a particularly ugly drawing. Fantastic! In that case, I hope you have a good, sound sleep. You nod again. It's awfully polite. You keep standing there for a while, smiling insecurely at the concierge. If this is a creepy smile contest, he definitely won. Not that this was ever in much doubt. Alright. You walk up the stairs to your floor, then you stroll along the long corridor until you reach the fork with the deceptive mirror. You briefly consider your appearance. You look simply gorgeous. The ZI really agrees with you. Noble paleness on your cheeks, alert eyes, and your hairline high above your intellectual-looking forehead. A good day. You venture deeper into the bizarre labyrinth of this hotel floor. You manage to find your room, and you only get lost once on the way. You quietly open the door and enter. Well. It's barely necessary to switch on the light. You walk towards one of the windows and look out into the starry sky. A huge, strangely green, glowing moon illuminates your room like a spotlight. The whole room is plunged into a surreal glow. Fortunately, there are no window blinds to block out the light. Just great. Let's freshen up before bed. Fresh armpits are what distinguishes humans from animals. You enter the bathroom under the flickering ceiling light, whose lamp has probably never been replaced. Okay, we're gonna do another 3 minutes of ads. Please. There we go. Okay. This game is fun. Yeah, this game's fun. So many options, so many things to do. Yeah, I'm really digging it. Don't think I'm gonna play it again on Thursday because it's just a lot of... It's just me talking the whole time. Which is fine. I mean, I've played other games like that. But... I don't know. I don't know if I'm in the mood to play a visual novel again. Ba, 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 ba. I'm surprised we didn't get murdered so far. We've stayed alive, which is really surprising to me. I thought for sure we would have died at least once by now, but we survived the wellness trip. Nothing bad happened with the cop. We got out of the arcade fine. Let's see if we survive the night. Fingers crossed, I guess. Oh, I should turn to the intermission screen so you can see my face better. Hi. So, again, I'm streaming on Thursday, and then also on Friday, December 1st at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my sister and I are doing a charity stream for Palestine. We're going to be playing Cooking Simulator Pizza, just chill and, talk about atrocities, I guess, and donations can be made to medical aid for Palestinians. So that is Friday. Follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky, all under Fantasize Me Pod, for updates and reminders. And follow here, twitch.tv/fantasizemepod, to know when I am going live with that. It's a very good cause. Yeah, anyway. How much time we have left? Oh, we're good. Okay, I'm probably gonna go a little over 2 hours because I started early, so probably like another half an hour or something of streaming. You brush your teeth. Let's take a closer look in the mirror. You put your toothbrush aside. Your hands close around the edge of the wash basin. You slowly lean towards the mirror. The flickering, glaring light of the ceiling lamp is not exactly flattering. Have you always had these round pop eyes? Has your nose always been that sunken in? You should really do something about these bulging wrinkles under your jaw and neck. Maybe a facelift like all those Hollywood stars who tragically find themselves on the wrong side of 25. Looking at yourself gives you the creeps. Look closer. Whoa. You suddenly develop a morbid fascination with your own obvious physical decay. The person staring at you from within the mirror doesn't seem to be you anymore, rather a caricature of yourself. You're reminded of one of the wolf characters from these old cartoons, the one that makes huge eyes when he sees a scantily clad lady and goes awooga. Except this is real life. Your fingers touch your uneven cheeks. You wander over to your hands. Your fingers feel all stiff, like you can't really move them anymore. Like they've turned into shovels. You could really use a few hours sleep. Now that you're finally ready for bed, your body feels as heavy as lead. You stand in the middle of the room. The warm, stuffy air gives you a pleasantly tired feeling. You're safe here. There might be incestuous maniacs out there on the streets, but here you are safe from them. You drop on the bed like someone who has no intention of ever getting up again. Oh no. You transition fluidly into your dreams. Ooh, the music. You've only just closed your eyes and you're already somewhere else. Suddenly your worries are very different. You're running in a desolate gray maze of winding alleys. You can hear the cheerful laughter of a small child. Oh, if only you could catch up, you could save the child and take them home to safety. You sprint down the path and turn around the corner, then around another. The alleyway stretches out in front of you, but there's no person to be seen anywhere. What was that? Was that a shadow at the corner of the street back there? The silhouette of a figure? You realize that someone is following you. Run faster. The figure in the distance has already disappeared behind the next corner. Maybe you can still catch up with it. The alleys wind through the town in confusing ways. Nothing makes sense anymore. Wherever you move, you never arrive in the place you expect to. It feels as if, slowly but surely, you're walking right into the jaws of a massive monster. All of a sudden, the walls close in on you and the path becomes so narrow that you have to walk sideways in order to fit through. Whatever's behind you is getting closer. There's not much time left. Face the creature. There's no point in following this endless labyrinth forever. With bated breath, you turn around and look down the street you just came from in order to face whatever's pursuing you. No matter how hard you try, your eyes refuse to look directly at it. The tentacled meatball right in front of you seems to be the only small outgrowth of the much larger, but also shapeless and impossible creature that is following you. You begin to despair. You try to close your eyes. Close your eyes and... Huh? Your fear is gone. Did that thing really look that horrible? Didn't it actually resemble that creature from the cartoon series about a school full of monsters? It was naked and carried its 2 eyes in its hand. Cartoon series are pretty sick sometimes. Heavy steps announce the bizarre creature is approaching. Don't open your eyes, man. Just wait. Keep calm. Your mind is racing. Not looking directly at the creature has suddenly allowed you to come to your senses again. You can hear steps, slimy, shape-shifting steps. Quick, what now? Kick it in the face. Nothing matters anymore. Nothing matters anymore. You shift your weight, swing your leg, and kick. By Jove, you kick. Your initial plan was to kick that thing in the face. This is easier said than done with a shape-shifting blob. But if you're lucky, maybe a head will spontaneously form where your foot lands. Another sound. No steps this time. It sounds more like a wet sack falling over. Good kick. A heavy load has been lifted off your shoulders. You feel free. A wonderful dream. The kind where you face your subconscious fears and defeat them. Maybe the fact that your subconscious has projected an obnoxious blob should give you food for thought, but you can go over the details with a therapist later. The successful fight against the nightmare creature has relaxed you. You sleep the sleep of the righteous, or something like that. Your sleep is only interrupted when you hear a soft chant. Ia, ia, Cthulhu Tagen. Ia, ia, Cthulhu Tagen. It seems a group of people has invaded your room while you were sleeping. Carrying torches and pitchforks, they have squeezed themselves between the bed and the closets, their faces hidden by hoods. You're grateful for the hoods because they hide the hideous faces of these locals. Oh my god, no. Your suspicion that radioactive waste is being disposed of in Innsmouth is confirmed once again. The light of the torches dances frantically on the wrinkled faces of the people staring down at you. Shining beetle eyes, bulging lips. You've seen these deformations many times during your short time in this town. While the crowd merely gazes at you like you were an animal in a zoo, a pop-eyed man with sunken cheeks leans over you. In his hands, he holds something shiny. Oh no, he's holding a knife right over the place where your heart is. The man remains in this position and clears his throat quietly. Oh well, this is inconvenient. Hey, what the heck? A group of strangers invading your room, repeating chants and waking you up? Those hillbillies sure picked the wrong victim. Hey, what the heck? You growl at them, thoroughly annoyed. The man who was just pointing his dagger at you flinches. His arms slowly sink down. Irritated, he exchanges looks with the comrades.
You don't know that yet, despite spending a whole day in Innsmouth?
There's an uncomfortable silence in the room. Are you being serious? Oh. So, one thing about this game is it's hard for me to determine who's talking. A sex cult thing. Sex cult thing. These hillbillies are only ever after one thing. As soon as a good-looking newcomer from the big city comes to their little village, they all want a piece of the cake. It's a sex cult thing, isn't it? A few gasps can be heard. Mommy, what's a sex cult? The voice of a child asks from the back. Shh, not now, someone whispers quickly. Who brings a child to a ritual stabbing? Quiet now. The gaunt man, probably the leader of the group, swings the dagger through the air in an agitated manner. No, we are not a sex cult. He hesitates. Technically. Technically? To get a little more comfortable, you turn over on your side and lean on your elbow.
Well, undoubtedly you might say that.
He makes air quotes with his free hand.
Physically and intimate rituals, especially connected to the tidal movements and the people from the sea, are integral part of our beliefs.
He clears his throat.
But to immediately jump to sex cult is probably a bit exaggerated.
Mommy, what is it? Shh. Not a cult. Fine. You can hardly imagine these people here in speedos or bikinis, let alone completely naked. Fine, then what are you? You say defiantly. The gaunt man scratches his head with a dagger.
Okay, so, What do you know? Did you notice anything weird today?
You look back on the day. No, nothing.
No, nothing.
The man rolls his pop eyes. Although you can't see under the hoods of the other people, you're pretty sure that the others are doing the same.
Okay, so where to start?
The stranger sinks to his knees and thoughtfully taps the flat side of the dagger on the edge of the bed.
Well, for starters, we all pray to Dagon, ruler of the ocean. This is, Dagon can change shape. He prefers the shape of amphibians or octopods.
A kraken, someone in the crowd says.
Yes, that's right, kraken. More than 100 years ago, the founding families of INNSMOUTH committed to following the order of Dagon in order to never go hungry again.
Mummy, I'm hungry.
Shh. Annoyed, the man casts a glance over his shoulder and then continues.
On nights with favorable constellations of stars, we sacrifice infidels. Today is such a night.
He waves his dagger.
All those involved in such a sacrifice.
He gestures to the rest of the group. They're beginning to feel like a single customer in a sales presentation.
Are in Dagon's good books for the rest of the year.
He takes a deep breath.
Dahlia Marsh is from one of the founding families. Well, she's pretty good at luring victims to INNSMOUTH, but nobody will miss,
The pregnant pause gives you a knot in your stomach.
And in addition, a group of chosen individuals will be united with Dagon's children. They perform the Dance of the Deep on the beach late at night when the moonlight shimmers green.
Dance of the Deep? Unbelievable. You try to read the man's face to see if he's serious or not. The dagger aimed at your heart earlier make the latter less likely.
Must be a lot to process all at once.
The group giggles.
Well, now that all the questions have been cleared up,
the leader of the group brings himself to position again, clutching the handle of the dagger with both hands.
Ia Cthulhu Tagen.
Confused and overwhelmed by everything you heard, you sink back onto the bed. The dagger hovers ominously over your heart.
Ia.
Sorry, Greg? Someone taps the man, Greg, on the shoulder.
What is it?
He hisses, turning his head without changing his posture. Well, it's just after midnight. Greg doesn't move. He still squints over his shoulder to his followers.
It's what? What's the time?
1:15. I think we chatted for too long about our intended sacrifice. We were a bit late to start off with. Greg draws his aim and staggers back as if this news had hit him like a blow.
How can that be? Why didn't anyone say anything?
You were all... The other one clenches his fists. Right in the middle of it. No thanks. Universal jaw boner. Anyway.
Get out. Everyone out.
Greg waves his hand, which is still holding the dagger. The part of the group that is closest to him ducks slightly in order to avoid the blade. When everyone has left, he turns to you. Greg looks down on you like you're nothing more than vermin.
Just wait until the next constellation. Then we'll get you.
He hesitates a moment.
You must, of course, come back to INNSMOUTH for that. We don't have the funds to get to you. Yeah, never mind.
He stomps out of the room and closes the door behind him. Did you just manage to avoid certain death? A shiver runs down your spine. Although you're not 100% sure whether you are safe, sleep tempts you. It's just after midnight and your eyes are tired. Was this the only horde of armed lunatics on the road at that time? You spend the rest of the night... Yeah, I mean, they're not going to sacrifice you. Get some comfortable sleep. The bed is too warm and comfy for such unimportant things as staying alive to keep you from snuggling back into it. Relieved about your decision, you scurry under the blanket and lay your head on the pillow. You spend the night in a deep, dreamless sleep. Then it's dawn. In a haze, you walk into the bathroom and change. Your face in the mirror above the sink looks like it's aged by many years. Oh no. You walk through the corridors, then down the stairs to the foyer. You give Mr. Gilman the key. I hope you had a pleasant night in our hotel. Very nice of you to bring back the key. Would you be so kind as to fill out our questionnaire? With a stiff smile, he hands you a sheet of pen and paper. A sheet of paper and a pen. Yeah, let's fill in the questionnaire. You roll your eyes pointedly, but then you start to fill out the form truthfully, apart from current personal details. Would you recommend the Gilman Hotel to your friends? How satisfied were you with her service? Was there always a contact person available for you? You whistle quietly, the nerve of him. You'd love to ask Mr. Gilman questions about everything that went on last night, but an instinct that usually prefers to sleep advises you to get out of there while you can. None of the holiday makers that you met around town yesterday are anywhere to be seen on your way back. The bus leaving Innsmouth for Boston is already waiting for you. It seems to be just waiting for you and a handful of the disfigured villagers. Not a single tourist is among the travelers. They're probably much smarter than you and all arrived by car. When the old bus starts to move, you decide to stop thinking about it. Hey, do we get another ending? Months later. Boston, 13th of November. You jerk awake. Only the pale moonlight seeps through the blinds of your apartment. It must be very late in the night. You're soaked in sweat as per usual. You sit up on the edge of the bed and try to calm down. You're safe. You're at home. You've managed to put an end to their schemes, the kidnappings and all the lies. You've escaped, but you're still under the spell of Innsmouth. A bad feeling. Wow, we got another ending. A bad feeling. We got a bad feeling and wellness so far. Let's go back to the town square. And see if we can't do something different there. Let's try to get one more ending. Let's try to get one more. Alright, so we tried the police station. Let's go to the town hall. Let's see what's up there. Innsmouth Town Hall. Impressed by its grandeur, you whistle as you enter the lobby. You glean a sense of the former wealth and prosperity of the place from before, well, whatever it was that happened here. A red carpet runs across the white marble floor, while the green velvet curtains on the wall unsuccessfully try to hide some of the cracks in the massive wooden beams. Specks of dust dance in the rays of light shining in through the rows of grand windows. You look up to the ceiling and spot a massive candelabra hanging ominously above your head. It's exactly the kind of thing that would drop in on the baddies in the fourth act of a caper movie. A series of ancient corridors go off to the sides into the belly of this bureaucratic beast. Sorry. There must be officers with sinister civil servants dotted all around this place. Here in the foyer, only every third of the few counters is actually manned. With this kind of morale among the people running the town, it's no wonder everything's a bit off. The clerks who are working seem to have placed bets on who can move the slowest. A very normal town hall indeed. There we go. Sorry, someone put some spam in my chat and I wanted to get rid of it. Anyway. So, what should we do in the town hall? Sit down in the waiting room, go directly to the mayor, wander around for a bit, inspect the lobby. Let's sit in the waiting room. Maybe we can people watch. Maybe it's better to stick by the rules, whatever they may be. You decide to take a seat in the waiting area. Surely you'll be called up once it's your turn. In the middle of the room, there's a few benches upon which 6 men and women are spread. They all look up silently to the counters of the clerks. You sit down in the last position in the queue and hope for the best. The ancient wooden bench makes a squeaking sound when you sit down. Let's talk to the person sitting next to us. Psst. Hey, you say to one of the people also waiting. He's a middle-aged man in a worn wool sweater. Thinning blonde hair adorns his pale skull. You have to concentrate hard to actually look into his eyes and not stare at the veins that run very visibly under his scalp. He turns to you with a frown which makes his wrinkled head wrinkle even more. You wonder what you could ask him. Have you seen this girl? You show him the photo of Tabitha. Have you seen this girl? It takes a long time, far too long, to move his eyes from you to the photo. No. A smile flashes in the corner of the man's mouth. You're not quite sure what to make of it. You decide not to show him any more photos of minors in the future. The 3 clerks at the counters are dealing with their customers. From where you are sitting, you can see them listening to the villagers' concerns with expressionless faces. They ask the occasional question and take down notes. Wait, notes? Your hands claw into the rotten wood of the bank. You can make out circling hand movements and pencils. There are no monitors to be seen anywhere. Not even CRT monitors. Oh, these fools are still living in the Stone Age! There's no way they'll be able to help you. You decide not to waste any more time in the waiting area like those other poor souls. You walk away from the benches and leave the men and women there to their fate. Now, another plan is needed. Let's go directly to the mayor. You can't just sit around and wait. You walk along the few of the dark corridors until you come by a massive door with shiny oak wood panels. It's bigger than any of the other doors. This must be the right place to come. You walk into the room and lift your hand to shield your eyes from the light. A bright and clean office, just as if you stepped into another dimension. A man in a fitted suit and lots of gel in his hair looks up and gives you a formal smile. Come in. How may I help you? Next to him, on a much smaller gray desk, sits a hunched figure in a cowl. Must be the assistant. The man rushes to you. Hello? Oh my god. The assistant now gets up too and walks up behind the mayor so as to follow your conversation better. Judging from your colorful clothes, I can already tell you're not from here. He points at your trench coat. I'm Mayor Van Pon. Welcome to our beautiful town. I hope you're enjoying your visit. Oh, don't say anything. I know exactly what you're thinking. You heard about our idyllic little seaside town and have come here to experience it for yourself. Maybe you've even chatted with a few of the locals here, just an innocent chat as you do when you visit a new place. You talk and notice more and more about that people here are different. They're quieter. You could call it humble even. I start to feel dizzy. How long is this guy going to talk without pausing for breath? You've got to understand, though, the courageous people in this town are honest people, fishermen, weather-beaten farmers of the ocean, the oldest trade in the world. They're not so well-versed in marketing, so I'll be the first to admit that at times they can appear odd to people from outside of town. Really, they all have a heart of gold. Mention missing people. Are you aware that a lot of people have gone missing in your town? The advisor whispers something. We can't be 100% sure what happened to those people. Maybe some of the people here are simply missing some of their old friends that they haven't seen in a while. I myself, for example, really miss the tiger who used to appear in those cornflake ads. That tiger still exists. Really? Oh man, I wish we had proper TV reception here. Let's mention the missing girl. Did you know that a little girl has gone missing? Oh, that's terrible. I hope that she'll be found. You should definitely alert the authorities. The mother got in touch with me. She came into my PI office and hired me to find the girl. The advisor tugs on Van Pon's suit and whispers something. I've just heard that I should not get involved in such precarious matters if I want to keep having a career. The mayor smiles and simply stares. I'm going to ask him for help. Do something. This is about a child, for God's sake. Have you no decency? The eyes of the stiffly smiling mayor wander briefly over to his secretary, who slowly takes out a tiny pipe. He blows into it deeply once. There's no sound. Damn it, are they gonna let a pack of dogs loose? Worse than that. 2 men enter the room. There's security by the looks of it. The fingers of the 2 are already caressing their batons. Without being informed about the situation, they come straight at you with bored faces. Follow us. Yeah, alright. You throw your hands in the air in an exaggerated gesture and follow the security personnel out of the office. The 2 don't even look around for you. They're simply continuing a pretty boring chat. Jesus, even the town hall security guards are walking sleeping pills. All of you wander through the corridors. You just keep following them. I'm curious. Strictly speaking, these people represent the law, and you do not want to make an enemy of the law. Without causing them any trouble, you follow the guards who lead you back to the entrance of the town hall. One of the guards opens the heavy door with a strange sigh. The other puts his hand on your shoulder. I'll tell you this just once. Stay away from the mayor. He's a busy man. The man at the door makes a sound that probably counts for laughter in this world. To you, it sounds like a fish choking on land. Before you can say anything, they push you roughly over the threshold of the door. You stagger into the square in front of the town hall. At the last moment, you manage to catch your balance. At least you're spared a rough landing on the pavement. In the town hall was a strange experience. You decide to avoid all other town facilities in order to not waste any more precious time. Following an inner voice, you march towards the little alleyways. Alright, we're back in the alleyways. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Town center's completely dilapidated. Yes, we know this. We know this. So we tried the arcade. Let's go to the barber shop. As you approach the barber shop, you first wonder if it's permanently closed. What you initially thought was a reflection of light is actually dirt. Ugh, are there no hygiene inspectors in this town? You hesitate about whether or not to enter. Let's enter. Let's go for it. What's up? The chime in the doorbell is the only greeting as you step through the door. The shop seems abandoned, and a thick layer of dust has settled on the chairs and upright hair dryers. A line pattern adorns the wash basins and floor. It looks like some water damage that no one cared about enough to sort out. Just as you begin to wonder why this store was open at all, you hear a peaceful snore. She seems to be coming from behind the counter. So let's take a peek. Careful not to lean on the dusty counter, you try to make out the source of the snoring. In a rather uncomfortable, twisted position, a man in his 60s is lying on the ground with his head propped up on a shelf. Has he fallen off his chair? Has he injured himself? The man opens his eyes, and you quickly dart back, but you're sure that he spotted you already. A hand slams on the counter, and soon the gentleman attached to the hand gets up. With the embarrassment of a gentleman who has fallen asleep during a gala dinner, the shopkeeper adjusts his glasses and hair. He stares at you in disbelief.
What do you want?
Let's ask about the missing girl. You're actually not that interested in what's happened here, so you get straight to the point. You get out the Polaroid. I'm looking for a missing girl, Tabitha Marsh. The man glances at the picture, then at you. His red eye starts twitching uncontrollably, and he hisses at you.
What do you want from me?
Maybe this isn't a good time. Let's ask for a haircut. Well, why do people go to the barber? You say carefully. The barber gasps for air and lifts himself a few more inches.
You want me to cut your hair?
This guy's a bit too excited for your taste, but he seems to have found some sense of purpose. Of course. Goodness, if only you hadn't entered this store. The barber claps his hands and hurries over to the sink to prepare it for the hair wash. Oh, you take off your hat and run your hands through your long flowing hair. You take a seat in the chair in front of the not quite so clean sink. Mr. Baldwin puts a cloth over your shoulders. You lean your head back into the sink, and after some height adjustments, you even manage to get into a relaxing position. You feel a stream of warm water on your scalp and hear a slight humming from the tap.
Your hair is very well groomed. What would you like me to do today?
Oh my god, a perm! You grasp the opportunity by the forelock. You've always wanted to improve your appearance. A perm, please.
Ooh, excellent choice.
After the shampoo treatment, you can feel the conditioner being massaged into your scalp. It feels good. You're beginning to enjoy this. After your hair is completely clean, Mr. Baldwin rubs it dry with a towel and asks you to sit on one of the chairs in front of the mirrors. The old barber sits down in a swivel chair and puts an old-fashioned fabric protector over your shoulders. He starts brushing your hair. Let's try small talk. Maybe a little small talk will loosen the guy up. And what else have you done today besides sleep on the floor? Your head is moved forward with a jerky movement. You don't tell whether this was intentional or not.
Please, let me focus.
With firm pressure, he tilts your head lightly. The barber probably has other worries than responding to your half-hearted, rather offensive attempts at conversation. Nearly done. The barber solemnly sorts out a few last strands of hair. With a content smile, he holds a small mirror to the back of your head. In front of you, in the large mirror, you admire your glorious perm. We're going to admire his work. You crane your head back and forth to admire yourself in the mirror. Wonderful, skillful, perfect.
Oh, you.
The hairdresser interrupts you.
You know, we don't think much of strangers here at INNSMOUTH, but you're one of the finest people I've ever met.
His hand lightly squeezes your shoulder. Then he removes the fabric protector so you can stand up. Hello. Hi, Mr. Baldwin. You take another look at yourself, then you put your hat back on. Mr. Baldwin's already standing behind his counter, typing into this old register. The sounds of the keys ring like music through the old, dusty shop. You can briefly picture what life must have been like here when business was still flourishing. That'll be $25. Mr. Baldwin hands you the receipt with a polite smile. Oh, your eyes start to water slightly as you count the loose bills in your jacket pocket. The old man thanks you and puts your money into the undoubtedly empty till. His hand strokes the counter, then ponders the dust on his fingers. I really should clean up sometime. He wipes off the dust on the edge of the counter, and as a goodbye, smiles at you apologetically. Time to move on. The chime of the doorbell bids you farewell. You need to decide which shop to enter. We can still do something? I thought perms took a long time. Alright, let's go get some food. Let's go to Joe's. When you enter the snack bar, you are struck by the unappetizing smell of fat. Behind the counter is a gaunt teenager who looks like he's bored out of his mind. A name tag identifies him as Chud. Chud is wearing a stained white apron, splashed with fat and other substances. His face is haunted by the most gruesome acne you've ever seen. He turns to you and stares at a spot somewhere on the wall behind you. A few moments of annoyed silence, Chud asks, "What do you want to order?" Let's ask about the missing girl. Do school kids ever come by here? Chud is obviously not interested in a conversation. That's a really strange question. Do you know this girl? You're holding the photo of Tabitha up to Chud. She's gone missing, and I'm looking for her. He looks at the picture with indifference. Are you gonna order anything or not? Ooh, let's bribe him. Alright. You pull a $20 bill out of your wallet and wave it around. As for your tip, you show him the photo again. Maybe you can add a little more service. Chud finally shows some motivation, but his eyes are more on the bill than on the photo. Let's see it again. At that age, maybe they know her in the arcades. That's where the kids are mostly these days. You put the bill on the counter. You leave Joe's Pizza and Burger. Man, I already checked the arcade though, and she wasn't there. Maybe I just didn't do it right? Well, let's look at the boarded up shops. Apart from these, the shopping street doesn't have much else to offer. Faded wooden signs sway gently in the wind and identify one shop as a bookstore, another as a DIY store. The shop windows are boarded up. You decide which shop to enter. Alright, arcades. We can hit every single one, and this time we have a beautiful perm. Games arcade. Okay. What are our options? Let's say it annoys us already. You can stand a lot, but you're a bit worried. Tinnitus, epilepsy, and you're pretty sure you've heard about carpal tunnel syndrome in connection with computer games. Nevertheless, you do like games. After all, you're not completely dead inside. Love it. A few tourist families who have ventured into the city center with you are all dragged here by excited children. Now, you two pass through the gates of the realm of flashing lights and bad ventilation. It's extremely dark, and the screens of the devices appear to be the only light source. Smaller. Let's look for the missing girl. Oh, it just wants us to play. Oh, that's right. The couple on the wellness trip said she was really into, like, shooting games. Fantastic. Who would have thought that you'd come across one of your favorite games here in Hicksville? Shooter games obviously cost more money, but the graphics are the best. The pixel blood spray abundantly, and you can shoot at the screen with neon plastic weapons. Annoyingly, this is where most people are queuing. It'll take a while until it's your turn, but from what you can see on the screens, you're sure it'll be worth it. Your choices: Boom, Quark, Mason of the Unliving. Let's see. What one would she be into more? Maison of the Unliving, because zombie games are fun. In Maison of the Unliving, scientists in a secret research lab under, well, a house, have been experimenting with a dangerous zombie virus. When the virus is accidentally let loose and all employees are turned into an army of the undead, it's up to you, the cleaner, to save the world by offing all of them. Doesn't sound too bad. Yeah. Let's queue. Maison of the Unliving, good choice. The target demographic is a lot more alternative to that of the other games. Black t-shirts, black cargo pants, black beanies. In your brown trench coat, you stand out like a sore thumb from the rest of the gamer crowd. And you're also twice, thrice, or 4 times the age of most of the people queuing. Right in front of you is a child who only reaches up to your hip. Yeah, let's ask them how old they are. Hey, you! You prod the little child. A boy with red hair peeking out from under his beanie turns around and looks at you. How old are you? You ask, trying desperately not to sound too much like a creepy adult. What do you care? He says and rolls his eyes. You elbow the next person in line in the ribs. His friend also turns around and he's wearing a boats and hose cap and some golden chains around his neck. You feel overwhelmed just by looking at them. Let's ask about the cap. You point at the boy's cap, boats and hose. Do you know what that means? The boy's jaw drops, but his friend comes to the rescue. What's your problem, man? He's wearing hip-hop merch, but it hasn't even gone through puberty. What do you two squirts know about the hard life of a gangster?
Why? What do you know about it?
The boy asks in a high-pitched voice and adjusts his cap. I'm a private investigator, you say, almost impressing yourself with how cool this sounds. The two kids exchange glances, which you also interpret as impressed. The smaller one asks, Do you have a gun? His tone is slightly wary, but also inquisitive. No, I'm not really that kind of PI. The boy frowns. What kind of private detective are you?
What kind of private detective are you?
There we go. I'm going to answer honestly. In a rare moment of insight, you decide to talk honestly about your work. To be honest, I'm struggling with it a little. Most of my cases are unfaithful husbands of whom I take photos when they drunkenly stab her out at a nightclub right across my office, if you know what I mean. Again, the two exchange glances.
Do you mean a club with women?
In bikinis? Right, these are pubescent idiots. Sure, bikinis.
Wow! Oh, that's so cool!
Oh, you did it. 2 little boys think you're cool. To show their admiration, they even let you move in front of them in the queue. How unexpected, but people are just like that, unpredictable. After a few players are knocked out, it's your turn, quicker than you thought. You put all the coins you have into the machine, all your hands clasped the black plastic gun. Feels good. The screen goes black. The slogan, Maison of the Unliving, flashes up. Then the intro of the game starts playing. Lovingly crafted camera work shows some polygon figure, which tells the plot of the game. The message, pull trigger to skip, keeps flashing up from time to time. Now let's keep watching the intro. Headquarters of Parasol Corp, a healthcare company. After a disappointing second quarter, shareholders demanded some drastic measures, such as redundancies or the opening of new markets to increase dividends. Wow, who would have thought that the developers of a zombie shooter would actually take the story seriously? You're genuinely curious about where all this is going. But there's resistance behind you. Boring, someone cries. Hey, you've got to pull the trigger, then it'll skip. You turn around and you look at the young people around you. Don't you want to know what's going to happen next?
Nope. Come on, old man, start.
Wonder whether they have a point. Fine, I'll skip the intro. You skip the intro, pulling the trigger on the toy gun.
Finally, man.
People behind you are cheering and seem to be eagerly awaiting another bloodbath. Bloody lettering splatters onto the screen and lets you know all about your mission. Level 1. Survive. Is that all? With nothing but a handgun, your character stands in a seemingly endless corridor. Hordes of roaring zombies come at you. Yeah, yes! The audience is visibly excited about the upcoming battle for survival. Oh, you shoot at the pixelated heads, and those enemies you've hit slowly turn transparent and vanish. You seem to have an endless ammunition, and you only need to shoot outside the screen to reload. Yeah, I remember games like that. After it feels like 100 kills, you start to feel bored. Why is there a queue for this machine? Your motivation to stay alive dwindles rapidly and is being replaced with a desire to do something useful, maybe even solve your case. The zombies overrun you, and wordlessly you hand the plastic gun to the next player. Oh well, the machine took all your coins, but it was worth it. You give the search for Tabitha another go, but given the bad lighting in here, even if the girl was standing a few mere 2 yards away from you, okay, there's no way you would recognize her. After walking around the machines a couple of times, you give up on finding her in the arcades. Leave the arcade. Okay. Alright, so I guess we're going back to the hotel again. So let's see if we can do something different this time to get a different ending. Okay, so we go inside. There's our best friend. We greeted them last time, so let's just walk up. I look quite exhausted. Quite exhausted. Probably like anyone who spends their holidays in a town like Innsmouth. Are you imagining things, or do your eyes seem a little puffy today? Well, that's more reason to go to your room. You venture deeper into the bizarre labyrinth of this hotel floor. You manage to find your room, and you only get lost once on the way. You quietly open the door and enter. Well, well, well. It's barely necessary to switch on the light. You walk towards one of the windows and look out in the starry sky. Okay, we freshened up last time, so let's go right off to bed. Changing clothes after a long day out before going to bed is for suckers, and for people with a basic sense of hygiene. But that's not who you are, and you're oddly pleased about it. With these thoughts in mind, you doze off for a bit. You transition fluidly into your dreams. You've only just closed your eyes and you're somewhere else. Okay, so we're back to the dream. So last time we confronted the evil, and we kicked its ass. So let's run this time. Squeeze through, keep going. You squeeze yourself further along the narrow pathway. The walls are now so close that they start to tug and scrape on your clothes. The backs of your hands start to burn because you keep scraping them on the surprisingly sharp edges of the rough bricks. Carefully but swiftly, you walk along the alleyway. It almost seems to you as if the walls were built so that your body and your body alone could pass through it. A stencil and you are in the shape. Keep going, baby. Already the path had been dark and poorly lit, and you couldn't see more than a few meters ahead. But now it seems as if the deepest, darkest night has fallen. Your fingertips continue to glide over the rough wall. Inch by inch, you work your way forward. The alley you wanted to cross is no longer an alley. The wall all but clings to your body. Every inch of wall now presses your body in clothes, just as if this alley has been waiting for you and you alone to enter it. Although you can no longer move freely, you appear to be moving forward. Are you still dreaming? You keep going. By now you've forgotten why you started walking in the first place. The stone walls appear to be crawling into your skin, yet you feel sheltered and safe. It has always been your destiny to be here in this place right now. Final destination. At last. You never wake up again. Oh, cool. So we died in our... Okay. Oh, what fun. Maybe I will play this again on Thursday, because there's still a lot of things to look at. So we got nightmare, wellness, and a bad feeling. So we finally died. Yay. Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll play this next time. Maybe I'll play something different. I'm still not sure. But you can follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky under Fantasize Me Pod to see what I decide and when I'm streaming next. But it's gonna be Thursday. And follow me here, twitch.tv/fantasizemepod, to know when I am streaming, get those go live notifications, and I will repeat it again this Friday, Thursday, December 1st at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My sister Stephanie and I are doing a charity stream for Palestine where you can come hang out and donate to Medical Aid for Palestinians, a charity organization based in the UK. Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you're watching the VOD, thanks for doing that too. We will do this again very soon.